Bee's back. Bee's back. She'd like to show off her weight loss. I don't know if you can tell because the camera adds 10 pounds.
Bee's like Jesse's ex-girlfriend, Anna Nicole.
Yeah.
Like my body. Trim spa, baby.
I forgot about that. No, Bee did it with plain old good diet and snoozing. Okay.
I think Anna did it with a little more than trim spa.
We've got rage texting. Luke had a real breakout moment. And Jesse in his underwear. I might never recover. Welcome to Showmance, guys, the only show on the internet doing deep dives on shows with no depth.
Shows as shallow as the whole circle of jerks passing the peace pipe.
I wish
Hey
there
now.
was a peace pipe. So does Britney. Are we not going to add Jesse's tiny nipples because they're too tiny to see?
I didn't care. I didn't care about his nipples.
I think it was Schwartzy who then in the after show then ended it with not to body shame, but I would rather have small pointy nipples than large soft.
But yeah, no,
nipple
same.
shaving. Yeah,
Same.
yeah. This episode, I'm gonna set myself up again because I did it for whatever
Summer House.
Summer House. Not a ton. I got some takes on situations, but I don't have a lot of like, oh, can you believe that? You know,
Same. I
Yeah.
feel the same. And Mark feels the same because we were chatting about it before.
Yeah, nothing really
Yeah.
happened here. It's bummer. I do have a note that I was like, man, do we miss Jax?
Oh,
that's a
God, no.
hard no.
But I mean, not like, oh, I miss him. Like, oh, like I don't want to send him notes put him on the coffee machine. But like, I mean, like, is that why we watch? Is his travesty of a life why we watch? And now that he's gone, it's like, dang, you guys are not good at this. I have another note later that we'll talk about that I think why they're not that good at this. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, this episode just was a real valley.
Yeah, it was. Well, let's just start of top of the pops.
Yeah.
Nobody got that.
Oh, I didn't even hear it.
It's a real valley. There's a valley.
Yeah, I get
Who's
it.
in the valley?
Oh God, this is not good.
Who's on first?
Isaac and Zika.
No.
Also
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so we start with everyone driving to Santee B. Jax is rage texting, and Jesse and Michelle are saying the same thing about each other from different cars. I think that pretty much sums it all up.
Yeah, I love that Jesse and Michelle are now fighting about who's happier.
Yeah,
Like
and they
that's-
both seem miserable.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, these crazy kids are going to find their way back to each other one day.
What the hell is that noise?
It's B. B's here, and we've got the door slightly cracked because Minnie and Foof are on the other side. And like, neither of them are happy about any of this.
We're trying to make friends.
But we feel like this is what you do, right? When you get a new cat, don't you put the other one like on the other side of the door and like kind of let them smell each other
Yeah,
from
but maybe we
underneath?
should shut the door so that there's not even a crack, because there's a crack underneath.
That's true.
Yeah, okay. Bee. I was just saying what a good bee.
Foof is so close to the door, like.
Foof might be in love with a plus size woman.
Yeah.
Foof's never seen a plus size woman before.
No, never. Oh my God. I wonder if Foof is like, what is B? Because he's only ever seen Minnie. So he probably, it's like, my parents got a dog.
He's ever
Yeah.
seen Minnie.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
B, come here. Here's the thing. Michelle does seem happy in her life outside of Jesse, but she doesn't really have a life outside of Jesse because this show is her job.
Yeah.
Also, we can get into this later, and I haven't finished it, but Cubby told me in our comments that Jesse did an interview with Carlos King. Do you guys know who Carlos King is?
I just watched after Cubby told me to watch it.
Yeah, same
I
these.
didn't know who that was.
Carlos King is a really great producer from a bunch of these different reality shows, specifically The Housewives.
Mhm.
So he was Teresa's main producer at the very beginning of Jersey.
Oh, I love that. I didn't
Mhm.
even know that. I had no idea who it was. I
Oh.
assumed maybe he was on a show that I just didn't watch.
No,
But he's a producer.
G.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he was like, this woman is a star. Like Teresa is it. Y'all need
Yeah.
to wake up to this. And he obviously produced her into a really
Fun fact. We did a web series decade ago, probably, where Courtney played basically a parody version of Teresa. If you can get more parody than like Teresa already is. And we talk about it all the time, how we're like, this is something that like anybody that watches, I don't know how we ended up doing this, but it all makes sense when you realize that we have been doing, I mean, we did like 10 episodes of this show. It was like how we did it. Basically, it's a parody of the New Jersey Housewives of Teresa Giudice or Giudice, you're nasty, whichever one, their family. So one day we might actually put it together and try to bleep out all the words that we use that I don't know if you can say those words anymore anywhere. My apologies or continues. We might figure that out one day, but we can put a
clip in.
Yeah, we might just start with a soft clip.
Yeah, a little confessional or something. Anyway, so he did Jersey and then he did Atlanta, and he was the lead producer, I think, for Nene, and I think there was one other person. So clearly he knows what's up.
Yeah.
Obviously in the interview, he started off by just saying, this is the best show on Bravo right now. All the things that we love about the show. I am not through with the show. We will talk about it maybe at the end, but Jesse is
sweetheart.
No, but he's just a different person in this interview than he is on the show, and whatever, we can get into it later. But I genuinely believe that Jesse's like he again, maybe it's in the name, because Jesse from Summer House, Jesse from the Valley, Jesse keeps saying, oh my God, this weight was lifted when Michelle moved off, and now I can color organize my suits, because I'm sure she was stopping you from going. What would she go in the middle of the night and put all the reds with the greens?
I think he just didn't have room. Oh no, but still, if you have, you're right. You could color organize anything.
That statement made no sense to me at all. But at any rate, he was saying, yes, I'm just, everything's lighter, and I'm grateful that, we're not together anymore. But then he's also so depressed and crying all the time about what's going on. So you're not happy. Like I know I'm not making sense, but that's because he's not making sense. And I just pick, like when he was in the episode with Carlos King, and I know we said we'll get to it, but clearly I can't continue.
Yeah, just go for it. Why not? Fuck it.
Like, first of all, everyone keeps saying that Michelle said she cheated. I need to know if she did, great. She had a physical affair. I didn't think she did. She did. I don't give a shit. It's not about me being right or wrong. I just need to know where the is everyone getting this information from?
Oh, from her.
But I have not heard her say it.
She
on
says
the show.
it on Watch What Happens Live. She was just on last night.
Great, because someone said on the after show, so I went back and rewatched the after show, and I didn't hear it.
Watch What Happens Live. They probably, because I'm always trying to remember. I think I have something that I'm like, we'll bring up later that I don't know where I heard it from. Like it's all, who knows? The fact that we even have after shows, thank God. Summer House, what is your problem?
Get
or just give us a reason. Just tell
together.
us, like, well, we've decided anything. We decided anything.
Anything.
A decision would be great.
Yes.
Anyway.
Other than me thinking that the app is broken.
Yeah. Because that's what it seems like. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Great. Then I need to go and watch it so I can hear her talk about all of this. And I totally got it wrong. I said I didn't think that she had a physical affair because, how about this? I think my exact wording was, I just have no evidence to it. And then when she said she did, I just kept trying to go back to any place. And I was like, I'm not hearing it.
It's a big accusation show. You weren't going to say she did it unless you knew she did it.
That's all it was.
Yeah, totally. But she said that she did. It was at the very end of their marriage. So we've always been wondering, the end meaning what? Like, did she have the apartment already yet then?
And was it when she got her apartment the first time or the second time?
Yeah, like who knows? Like,
she didn't
No, she just said at the end of my marriage, I did this. It was a mistake, but I was totally honest with Jesse. I told him everything. So I think that what he's doing is just, this thing happened. I think it was black and white that she stepped outside of the marriage, but I think that they chose to maybe still try. This is, again, my perspective. I don't know because like they're not getting into details.
Yeah.
If he just decided to like let that be and then, okay, we're going to try to, oh, we got an offer to be on this show.
Yeah.
I don't think we should get divorced right now, because there is another thing. I can't remember where I heard it, but that like they were on their way out and Jesse said, we got this offer today. This could be great for our careers. We could be the luxury real estate people that are like traveling and doing this and that. And like, we're spending thousands of dollars every week on like these flyers that just end up in the trash can. We could be on a billboard for nothing and they pay us.
Yeah.
And like, so I think that they chose to give it that extra year because they had this great opportunity, and I don't blame them for that.
No, same.
Like,
I don't either.
that's huge. And so I think what he's doing is just making this affair a part of the show, a part of his character, a part of like the
Yes.
story. So what you were saying, that you're like, he already knew if this, I think that something happened when they were like kind of separated. I think they weren't separated, but I think that he knew, and now he's using it to his.
And yes, you've nailed it. No,
again,
or
I think
that
allegedly.
that all makes perfect sense to me. And I think that's why, and just another layer as to why I get so irritated with
Yeah.
this dude, because he said on Carlos's show
Yeah.
that yes, she did have an affair, and you know what? Like, I contributed to the downfall of, I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
I contributed to the downfall of this relationship. I wasn't a good husband. Obviously, I don't want her to go out and cheat, and that's hurtful. But, you know, at some point, we're all going to be good friends. And it's like, I'm short circuiting in live,
Yeah.
in living color. This is what I said last week. If I were their friends, I would just go up to them saying, this is a bad look for both of you guys. And if this is how you really feel, Jesse, then you know better.
Yeah.
So don't be a dick on the show
Yeah.
and sit here and be like, you're a Hester Prynne Scarlet Letter
Yeah.
whore.
Yeah.
And your daughter should be ashamed she came from your loins. Like, that's how hard he's going in on her.
Yeah.
When really, if you got straight with yourself, it's what I said last week about affairs. I was like, listen, it's not a good look. Nobody should be doing them. But the affair is the symptom that there is a real issue in your marriage.
Yeah.
And so if Jesse, as he was so honest on Carlos's show and said, I get why it happened. Like, I was an absent husband, essentially, and she was being ignored and isolated, and that was really hard for her. Right. And if you just say that, then viewers like me think, oh yeah, that's totally logical. And it's such a bummer that she cheated on you. And it's a bummer that you kind of emotionally bailed on her. But now you guys can get divorced because you're clearly not right for each other. Be great co-parents. Everybody wins. She gets to go be happy. You get to go be happy. And you can have, you know, very modern Thanksgiving dinners together.
What if he didn't realize any of that until 2 weeks ago?
I just find it hard to believe that he didn't realize it until 2 weeks ago. I think he wanted to drag her through the mud so that people would be like, oh, Jesse, I feel so bad for you.
I mean, maybe. But like, I think the most truthful, poignant, meaningful thing that's been said on this show this season is when Michelle said, if he broke up with me, you wouldn't see that. No one would know this Jesse existed. Like, that is so, this guy is going crazy because this chick left him. Like, this is just an ego. I'm not saying it's anything that he's doing is right. But like, I think she nailed that. Like, this dude is full on having an ego meltdown. And he's getting his every revenge that he can possibly clamor onto, he's going to take and tell everyone about it because he's devastated. He's devastated that someone would leave him, that someone would say no, that someone would tell the great Jesse Lally this isn't going to work out, especially if he put this whole mastermind plan, if this whole plan, he put like, not to be sexist, but like, that's a dude thing. Like, all right, I got it. We're going to do this. I got a plan. This is going to set us up for lives and set up our kids. Listen, and then she's like, yeah, cool. And then bails. Like, again, I don't think either of these people are great people, but I think there's definitely a busted ego, and this dude is spiraling or was spiraling after the fact. And the whole plan that he cut is shit now. And that months and months and months and months could have gone by, and he could have gotten to a point where he's like, I was kind of a dick. I did not, like he could have come to that realization. Jason probably told him. And then went on the podcast. And now he's doing his tour, right? Which is like, let me go do the tour and be like, yeah, I know why. Yeah, it was I had the equal role. All the shit we're seeing happened months ago, if not longer.
I think there's a part of him that's calculated enough that he would put all of this on just for public sympathy, because Carlos had said something in the interview brought up that Bravo poll on like whose side are you on or whatever. And when someone is getting a compliment and they're trying to be not humble about it, but just not like, yeah, I know, it wasn't that awesome. They're trying to be a little bit more, thank you. But they can't hide their happiness. They're so elated that I won. That's what it was like a little. Did you ever see the movie Gone Girl?
No, I didn't watch that movie.
Do yourself a favor and see it. It is truly, it's
Is that
one
the
of
one with Ben Affleck where someone disappears?
his wife all of a sudden disappears, and she's a psychotic human being. And I don't want to give anything away, but like it's such a good psychological thriller. It's incredible. And anyway, she does these things and she's insane. And she does these things though that you're like, oh, you really have like a wire crossed up there, girl, because this is you killed somebody. Like, you're nuts. When Jesse's saying this shit, obviously I know he didn't kill anyone, but I'm just thinking to myself, you're narcissistic enough and out for yourself just enough that I would believe that even all of this is fake.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't believe. I think he's so full of shit to the center of his center, to the marrow of his bones. I just can't get past thinking that anything he's doing isn't self-serving to this greater plan to make him look amazing.
Do you know why people don't like Michelle? Like, why she like loses polls and why like nobody, like everyone is like,
yeah, I think it's that thing when people are like, she's so cold, she's not maternal, she's really icy. I think it's all of that.
People are upset with Michelle because so many people are finding themselves in the uncomfortable, shameful position of being Team Jesse. They're not like anyone should have made us easy. Like, this should have been an easy choice. But she's so robotic and so like just like not there. And the moments that she does speak are like not okay. People, viewers, not people, because real life this doesn't apply, but TV this applies. We like people that put story into motion, that make choices, that move the story forward, that we like actors, not reactors. Like, and listen, okay. Jesse's a bully. But when you find out why a bully is, why they're like if they show you a moment of vulnerability, if they show you a glimpse as to like why they are or how they became that, or like you see them crumble in their underwear, for example, in a moment, which were oddly big. They were too big for him.
I don't understand how these are the baggiest, tidy grays that I ever saw in my life.
When he was like, I like bikini briefs. I'm like, those aren't bikini briefs. Those are my dad's, who doesn't like to buy new underwear. So he just keeps on wearing the short elastic waistband. Anyhow, people they're not inspired by, like, in life, we love a victim. I don't mean that we're not like hoping for it. I'm just saying, like, it is in life, like, I'm always like for the victim, always like for anyone who seems like a wounded animal. You're coming to their aid.
Yeah.
Not in TV. You it's so much easier to find a moment where you can understand a bully and get on their side because you know that they wield power. They've shown you that they're wielding power, not for good, but if you see like, no, he is a good guy. He's this way because this thing happened or because whatever. Then we know that like now if we could just get them to use their powers for good now because we know there's good in them. They're just having a bad thing. This bad thing happened to them. Victims like Michelle who aren't like likable victims. And everybody, we always talk about imperfect victims. Like it can't be we always want our victims to be perfect. And if you're imperfect at all, then like we have nothing for you. Every other avenue of her life is set up. Like the only problem that she's had is she married this guy who sucks. But she's beautiful. She's got a great career. She has the power to make a ton of money. She has before. She could continue doing that. Like awesome kid, like lives in like one of the best cities in the country. That's like for opportunity, even if you're not a fan of LA, like you can be anyone, do anything here. There's nothing, we got it here. Like whatever you want to do. But she plays a victim every time. And this could also be producing. They decided that they wanted to go into her story that she's the ex-wife of Jesse Lally, but that's all we really know about her is that like she's just like, oh, this guy's ruining my life. This guy is just the worst. Oh, I have got to deal with this. Like, I don't know anything else about this woman aside from that she's just been really put out by the guy that she chose to marry, chose to live a lavish life with, chose to procreate with, chose to stay with after she got a place, came back, like still gave it another shot, all the things, whatever. But like, woe is me. It's just like, it's not inspiring to watch on your TV set, but nobody wants to be on Jesse's team. And yet here we are, not you, I know, but like, I think a lot of people.
Do you know how I feel about this? You know how elections can happen and people are like, well, I don't like either candidate. I'm uninspired by both of them.
Yeah.
That's how I feel here. It's not like I'm just so down for the cause of either one of these people, meaning like, I got to go canvas for them. I'm going to go door knocking. I just can tell you, because we're doing this show, I have to have a vote as to like, okay, my country needs me. I have to. This is my right or my obligation. People died for this. I got to.
People died to do showcasts.
Yes. This time 15 years ago, women weren't even allowed to have a showcast by themselves. Okay. It's the only reason Mike's here, so he could buy this equipment for us because we could barely get a credit card. Anyway, I have to cast my vote. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's more like I'm so against him. He, for whatever reason, is the perfect archetype of male that makes me want my vagina to seal itself closed and never open for another man again. That's how much this guy gets under my skin. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just always that one kind of person. It doesn't matter if it's the opposite sex or whatever, I'm sure there's women out there, I can't think of the archetype now, that just make me want to just put my head through a wall. And he is that dude for me.
Yeah.
And everything he does drives me up a wall.
But not Michelle. Michelle loved that guy. Michelle married that dude and decided to have a kid with him. Michelle's not the victim. She's trying to be. That's why people don't like Michelle, because she cheated on her husband. Let's get that out of the way. And even if we didn't know that until the other day, from last year, it was a thing. It was a storyline. And like we've said, like, why were you there? Why were you there with all those bad kids? Oh, I wasn't doing anything wrong. Right, but you were with a bunch of bad kids. So now you're the kid that hangs out with bad kids. So like, there's got to be something to that, right? Her storyline from the jump was, oh, she had a boyfriend for a year. Oh, she had a thing. Oh, she was seeing a celebrity. Oh, there was the dinners with maybe that. And then a running kid. That's it. It's all been a speculation of cheating. And this guy, like we've all said, has been Jesse Lally since his 9th birthday. Like that's this dude. And I get it. You don't like him. You're not going to bang him or marry him or date him. Fine. she didn't want to either. She felt the same way you did, which is why she did not go on a date with him the first time, because she was like, the guy was a prick. Okay, well, what happened at 2 a.m. when you got wasted and went and did a 12-year booty call with, like, you know what I mean? So, like, she's not the victim. Jesse's the victim. I know, strike me down.
Okay.
But, like, Jesse's the one who's been an asshole forever.
Okay.
He got married. He got a lady by being an asshole. He got a kid by being an asshole. He concocted this whole plan. You're 100% right. The dude is a thinker and a planner and a concoctor. If it all worked, we'd be sitting here being like, this guy's amazing. Like, a little bit of an ego problem, but like nailed that. He really put it. Now he's got this thing. There's the high end. Like, if it worked, we would love him, right? It didn't work. Why? Because of Jesse being the dick and not telling his wife that she was beautiful and doing the dishes? Or because his wife fell out of love for whatever reason and then went and started hanging out with other people?
It's such a complicated story in a
It's
sense,
not really.
as to how they got there, because I do think we're missing the nuance of you don't just wake up normally and become $100,000 in debt, right? Like, if we're taking a parallel information, you usually, it's not like you just went out and one day
It
you
takes
spent
3 years.
it's purchase by purchase, right? And I think that they didn't wake up one day with her just being some serious, and I'm not defending her having an affair. I'm just saying, if we're looking at how we got here, you don't just wake up and put on 100 pounds. You put on 5 pounds before you put on 10, 20, etc. And I think that he was and look, she chose him. I'm not saying that she's a victim. I'm just saying, if we're casting a vote here on whose team we're on, because that's what Watch What Happened Live had asked, right?
And
Whose
she
team are you
won
on?
last night. They did the poll again. Right. It was just a smidge. And also she was on with Zach, and Zach was like, I hope that they vote because she's here tonight, guys. She's here tonight. And so, like,
Hype girl.
Yeah.
But if I'm casting my vote,
Yeah.
I'm casting it for her, because neither one of them are, and we've said this every episode, no one is saying either person is perfect. It's not like one person was married to Mother Teresa and the other person was Hannibal Lecter, okay? They both chose to get into this relationship. They both chose, we got the answer this week that Isabella was very much planned and they wanted to have a child together,
Yeah.
right? They made all these decisions together. I think, I brought it up on Southern Charm. It's that Jay-Z lyric, once a good girl's gone bad, she's gone forever.
Yeah.
And I think in their relationship, just you get ignored enough, you get just the shit end of the stick enough that you're just, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying it's right. You should get out of your relationship. Don't do that. But maybe she did. She got dragged back in, just like we're making allowances for him.
Yeah, sure. Well, if you're going to go and do the nuance, and if you get ignored, what kind of ignoring? Then I need to know more about that. Were they pursuing this plan that he laid out? Were they like, was he like, no, dude, like, we got a business to run. We're trying to build a business. We don't own our house. We're in this beginning stages. Like, for the next 5 years, we're not
Yeah.
like, we got shit to do. And at that point, was she like, you don't tell me I'm beautiful anymore. You don't do the dishes. You don't do the, you like, you know what I mean? I don't mean to make her in this voice, but like, then if we're going to do nuance, then we can do that all day and we'll never get to a decision. What we know of, Jessie has always been this way, seemingly. Her storyline has always had a halo of cheating rumors. Like, that's not tricky.
According to this interview,
if someone came and was like, I think Natalie's fooling around on you, I probably wouldn't be like, oh, I tell her all this. She gets annoyed by, oh, I think you're so pretty. I think this. I'm trying to get booty scrunchies all the time.
You're just trying to get laid.
Whatever.
it's nice. It's romance.
Yeah, seriously. At least I'm trying. But like,
I appreciate that.
yeah,
It's annoying, but also
Pay for effort.
If it
Yeah.
stopped,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love that meme when the ladies are like, you know, your husband's mad at you when you walk up or you walk past him and he doesn't grab your ass.
My parents have been together for, my dad wants to make it to 70 years, but they're at like 50 something now. And still
Yeah.
squeezes my mom's ass when she gets mad at him. He's like, how could you be mad at me? I kiss you goodnight every night and tell you I love you. My mom's like, do the dishes. Take the trash out. I'd love that, Robert.
No. 30 years from now, she's not going to remember in dishes. She's going to
She
remember in
will.
kisses.
No.
But what the hell are we saying?
Wait, hold on. I wanted to say this. He basically said on Carlos's show that he kind of checked out of things when their daughter was born, and she was born in 2020. So I think they have a long history of things being bad. I think the bottom line that we can all agree with is they should be divorced.
Yeah.
These two people shouldn't even be in the same house, let alone the same marriage. They shouldn't be on the same street. Get away from each other.
Yeah.
And then maybe in time you guys can be friends. Because as we always say, like, time heals a lot of things. Look, we love Schwartz now. And at one point he was a real dumb dick.
I never hated Schwartz.
I did. When he dumped that beer on Katie, I was like, oh, that's aggressive. Don't do that to your girlfriend. That's
I think that I'm glad that I've either never saw that episode or I blocked it out, because that would be horrible. That would be
Could you imagine if you were out at a bar with friends and Mike dumped a drink on you?
No.
Natalie's not someone that would get a beer dumped on her. Katie Maloney is. What up,
That's
Zoe?
not victim blame.
Dude, well, don't even get me started on that one.
I like Katie. I understand why she's not everyone's cup of tea.
Totally.
But I feel like she wasn't so blasé about everything until the very end. I think she did her job while she was on the show. And then towards the end, she kind of was just like, whatever, I'll show up where I want. I'll do what I want. I'll say what I want. And I don't give a shit. I felt like she'd earned it by the time that she started that. But dudes are not a fan of Katie Maloney.
She also has...
Zoe's not either.
Huh?
Zoe,
yeah. And Zoe likes Schwartz, and she was the only person in the comments
I
that was
saw.
like, I'm into Schwartz, and I'm like, thank you, Zoe. It's just me and Zoe. Yes, yeah, it's us and Zoe. Yep. That's it.
Table for four under Schwartz. I think because she's just a very she's a Daria type character.
Yeah,
Do you remember from MTV? Just
Do I
hey
remember?
guys,
Yeah.
everything's terrible. I hate everyone.
Yeah,
The restaurant's slow tonight. Like, that's Katie.
yeah,
She's just a want.
yeah.
Anyway.
One last thing though
yes,
about
please.
just one last thing about Michelle.
It
that
will never be
that I
one last thing.
remembered.
We're going to talk about them till we're in the grave.
Yeah. Oh, it's 100%. And well, I'm sure we'll talk more about her tonight. But I think that people are just to wrap up what I was saying, I think that people are pissed that they are like, I never in a million years thought that I would be a person that wasn't seeing that wasn't just being like, Jesse should die, set him on fire right now, and I'm going to watch it and put it in slow-mo because I want to see every oh God, and so people are like, it's very uncomfortable. And I said at the very beginning when we hadn't even started doing the Valley yet, we were probably doing Summer House or Southern Charm, and I said as we were closing that we were just talking about how we're going to be doing the Valley, and I was like, and I already feel very uncomfortable about my feelings about someone. I'm rooting for someone that it's keeping me up. It's gross. I don't. And so it should be so easy for us to get onto the person's side. And we haven't been able to. And so I have to say, you're not good on TV, Michelle. I'm sure you have great friends. That's not easy to, I always say that check out a circle of friends that someone has been able to keep for years and years and years. I think that speaks volumes about someone. And I think that she has a solid group of people around her, and that's not easy. On TV, it's just a whole different ballgame about when I talk about moving story forward and making decisions and being the bully. Who likes a bully? No one. Until you're like, I get it. I get why. Anyhow, Michelle, what was our favorite moment? The time that we were excited about her. We weren't even doing recaps. We were doing another show called Uncorked, and Courtney got on and just decided to talk about this girl and this scene from this finale. And it was when
they were breaking up.
And how she came in.
Yes, and she was like, here's the papers. We're splitting everything 50-50. I have an apartment. I'm not asking for any furniture. I've done it all for you.
Yeah. And she didn't even come in and say that. She came in and just was like, okay, great. I'm picking up Isabella. And then he tried to start it and she was like, no.
they sat down.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
But
yeah.
he was trying to pick a fight with her, and
He
she
trying
was
to goad
like,
her.
nope. And he's like, what about this? Don't need it. But then there's this. No, there's not. Like everything was like,
She was like, it's very simple. We'll split this. We'll
Don't
split that. And
care.
he's like, no, our client list. What was it? And she's like, splitting.
nothing.
Nope.
Already-
Like she was totally innocuous.
Exactly.
I
which
mean,
is like
impervious to him.
the opposite of victim, which is just like, I need nothing from you, want nothing from you, don't even really remember your name. Like it was inspiring. It was like we were all like, oh my God, this guy doesn't even know what to do. He doesn't even know how to sit there anymore. He like picked an outfit and shoeless moccasins for like this particular moment, and like nothing is going his way right now. And she was cool as a cucumber. Like, and I haven't seen it since, really.
I say this all the time to people. Indifference is the worst thing in the world.
Oh my! For a narcissist, or I'm sorry, I keep calling him a narcissist, and I still think that he is. But I think Joanne Greco maybe, or someone was like, that's actually a sociopath.
Yeah,
and so either or.
By the way, I just described him akin to like in respect to Gone Girl, and watch Gone Girl, and I think Joanne. I hope you got an A in that class because I think you're right. But it's true. If you are dealing with someone, anyone who just wants your attention, it's not being mean to them and it's not being nice to them. It's just complete and utter indifference.
Yeah.
It drives someone so mad.
Yeah.
And that is the move she should have made.
Yeah.
Last season, this season, and to infinity and beyond.
Yeah.
I find these little microaggressions I being like a hot-blooded Jersey girl, if I lived in a house with a guy who did this to me, I would be incarcerated right now because one day I would just wake up and I would kill you. Everything he says is he's always putting her down. So in this Carlos King episode, he's like, for instance, she had never been to Europe. So this one day I'm surprising her for her birthday, and there's this card, and she opens it up and it's tickets to Paris because she had never been to Paris. And he's telling us the story of how he proposed. And I'm thinking to myself, what? That might seem totally innocuous to anyone else. Like, no, he's just saying she had never been to Europe. No, he wasn't. He was saying he found this poor bumpkin that grew up in a hovel with no culture, barely 2 sticks to rub together to get heat in her house. And then she met me with my loafers and my Capri lifestyle. Yeah. And I showed her what, the good life looked like. And thanks to me, she now knows how to pronounce Audemars Piguet. Like, shut up. You could have just said, it was Michelle's dream to go to Paris. So I wanted to schedule a schedule. I wanted to propose to her, plan out our proposal in Paris. That's how a class act says it. Not like, when we got together, she was much curvier. Like, you're and I don't give a shit if she, whatever body type, it's beautiful. But every time he's saying something about her, he's saying it as a dig.
Yeah.
And it drives me crazy. It just drives me nuts about him. Anyway, okay.
Was it her dream to go to Paris and get engaged to?
It was he said it was her dream her dream vacation, I guess, was in Paris or something. I just feel like there's a million ways he could always say something, and he always says it where he can just slide a little dig in. And I guarantee you he was a million times worse one-on-one in their house when there was no camera crew.
I always wonder, like, we don't know anything about his upbringing.
Mm-mm.
And like I've talked, and I think I probably cut it last time, which just seemed harsh, but like I talked about just like how my dad, Stan, was just grew up super, super, super poor with like dirt floors, and like that once he got into OU on a wrestling scholarship and then became what he became. But he really went from like rags to, I mean, not like riches, but like the riches of like, if you're wrestling in Oklahoma at University of Oklahoma, it's like USC football here. It's just a different.
I would argue
thing.
even bigger. I don't know a lot about sports.
Yeah, because
but
wrestlers are an odd bunch. Like they are the most. And that's for another time. But I wonder how Jesse grew up, because I was talking before about how he like moved here from. I don't think he's from Boston. He's from another area, but I think he just says Boston maybe because it's. But it seems to me like he came from somewhere and moved out here to become something. He had a very clear idea of like, I'm going to have this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to travel here, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to live here. Like just a bunch of, but I don't know. But I would not be shocked if he is a product of his upbringing a bit.
Oh,
and
God,
like
no.
finds a lot of value in things that like maybe he didn't come up with.
Totally
And
agree.
it's totally showing through like, and like, again, I know because that's how my dad was. Like where he'd be like, "Oh, you haven't seen this rug? This costs $50,000 bajillion," and it's like, gives a shit. But like he was just constantly would tell you about that kind of stuff all the time, because like that to him was like mind blowing, incredible. He never thought he would have a life where somebody gave him a rug that was like from this century and from this era and from this place, and that would, if I wanted to sell this right now, like you're not going to sell it because then you couldn't tell everybody that walked in the door
how much it cost.
Yeah, and that you got it from the freaking Prince of Brunei. Or like
so
whatever.
correct. I think couldn't be more accurate.
So I know it's a different show, but what's the difference between like Miss Patricia and Whitney? Who are those people that Jesse seemingly wants to be, as you say, and the person that is just trying to be those people? Because you guys don't have a problem with those two, like Whitney, obviously, but like
I got big problems with Whitney.
My only problem with Miss Patricia is that she's a little too protective of just so many shitty men, you know. But aside from that, Miss Patricia is everything. Like,
and I also think Miss Patricia owns it. She says, like, I'm a little bit of a bitch, and I like this lifestyle of being pampered, and I agree with you. We've talked about it, where she's very, part of the old boys club.
Yeah.
You don't think Jesse does own his like bougie kind of attitude or desires?
I think he's a little all show and no go. I think that he doesn't got it like he's trying to make people think he's got it. I don't think that I don't think you're hobnobbing with the elites of the world, the 1%. I don't think you've got Warren Buffett on speed dial. I don't think he's this guy, hanging out with some upper echelon of people, which I don't care. I don't care who you're friends with, but it's seemingly very important to Jesse for us to know that he's having a $20,000 lunch.
Yeah.
And I just think money talks and wealth whispers.
Yeah. I know. This will everything that we're saying. I am so on board with everything that you're saying. It will all feed into I just wish Michelle was doing a better job at this job, because like nobody feels comfortable here in this space of being like, is that wrong? Ooh, like I feel like people are watching the Valley. They're on their second screens. They're probably like kind of half in, half out. And then Jesse's coming on and we're like, oh, what's he doing? Where's he coming from? What is that stupid fucking shirt? That guy, am I right? I can't.
Is he wearing a headband?
Yeah, but like, but like we're all kind of like tuned in and then going, that's true. It's horribly hilarious. Like, and we're all just like, this shouldn't be happening.
But Jesse is a legend in his own mind.
But he's a legend in my mind now. That's the thing.
Just because you said you wanted to try to get to an hour and a half, and we've literally been talking about Jesse for 50 minutes. And we haven't even started on the show. We're not even at the house yet.
I appreciate that, and I'm with you.
That's fine. I don't care. We can talk all night.
No, I love you.
We're 52 minutes into it. We haven't even talked about anything.
Like him feeling like he's a legend in his own mind is why he goes on a show like Carlos King and will say, right, I'm the villain, but then you're going to get to see me as the hero. Like he thinks like, I got this on lock. I've produced myself in such a way where like, yeah, I'm showing you this horrible side to me, but it's what's really going on. And I want you to like, at least I'm coming to work every day. And then all of a sudden you're going to see my wins.
Yeah.
And then you're really going to want to love me. And it's like, don't tell me how to feel. I
Yeah.
say who, I say when, I say who. And it's just like, I said it a few weeks ago and it just drives me, me as a viewer crazy. Like Jesse thinks he's smarter than everyone watching, than everyone producing the show. And he doesn't realize like, boo, this stuff can all go away. And you're great TV. You really are.
Yeah.
But like, stop being so condescending all the time.
Yeah.
Even when he's always sticking up for Jax. And like, obviously we need to move into the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of stuff doesn't really happen in this episode besides like the Jesse stuff and talking about Jax's rage texting. Cause I feel like we get to the house and his stupid white flag thing that to me went over like a lead balloon. That was just so dumb.
Only Jesse would meet at the door with drama to say, leave your drama at the door.
Correct.
Like putting people on the spot through a peephole to go, are you ready to leave your drama at the door? This is my drama I'm bringing to you, telling you, leave your drama at the door.
Nat, this is why I get so fed up with him.
I know, but like, it's so entertaining.
It is. It's so entertaining. So, okay, so we get in the house and obviously everyone's like, okay, we're going to drive these race cars. To me, when shows do things like this, I feel insulted as a viewer. Don't have everyone get in these crazy get-ups and then ride what are they called?
Electric car, like
RC cars. But did you think they were going to an actual race car track
or
to
like they
drive
were gonna
cars
watch it or like
after
ride
they'd been
in with like a
drinking
driver
for 4 hours and
I thought they were
Jesse
gonna bumper car it up.
Or like they were going to be the passenger like with a race car driver or something like that. I just thought it was going to be more than a remote control.
No, I thought they were going to get in those little cars and race speedway, like a miniature speedway. Like it's like mini golf, but you know, in bumper cars, but not bumper, but like
nothing that anyone could
like
hurt
fast
themselves.
Bumper cars. Yeah, exactly. Where you're all like in your things and like that's what I
They're
thought.
called go-karts. It's K1.
Okay,
They're
well, I
wasted.
thought that's
They're all wasted. Jesse's like, I drank 2 bottles of Prosecco. You guys got to catch up as they're putting on their stupid outfits. Like, there's no way they're driving cars. There's no way Bravo's leaving in all that alcohol consumption and then letting them drive something.
okay. Well,
it doesn't matter. I thought it was ridiculous and a waste of everyone's time because to me, the only interesting part of them going there was the first and maybe only time ever that I liked Janet. When her and Jesse, when
that one line,
when she said, if I was married to you, I would cheat on you too. I was like, nailed it. Like she was, I'm not saying cheating is ever right. I'm just saying to me, that's a great insult. Like you're so shitty. I would have to screw someone else also because that's how shitty you are.
Yeah.
Just to rub salt in his open wound. Cause I can't stand him. Oh,
I know. I feel like the people that get triggered by him, like I think that the person that we'll see, aside from just like Michelle's friends who are like, I feel like if Michelle wasn't around, Britney wouldn't care about Jess. She would be like, oh, Jesse's hilarious. Oh, this guy, you know, like, but people that are friends with Michelle don't want anyone with Michelle. So they're not into it. I feel like it takes people like Lala who have been in a relationship with someone who just like every level. I'm sure was some version of that times 1,000 because he was rich and powerful and
but
whatever.
He wasn't even rich.
The
He's
dude
robbing from Peter to pay Paul,
yeah.
borrowing money for everyone. Like that's what I'm talking about with dudes like Jesse and her ex fiance Randall. You're all show and no go. You're like fronting and stunting everywhere and just it drives me crazy.
But I feel like Randall had more money than Jesse. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Randall, I think was one of the producers on Gotti.
Oh, okay.
That I was in for literally one line. But I think he left a lot of people high and dry, like didn't pay. Remember, he was borrowing all that money from like randomly like 50 Cent.
I think it takes someone like Lala who has been with someone who has those things that where she just has zero for him. We haven't seen the scene yet, but we see it where she's just like, I don't have anything to do with you. Thank God you're not. I don't have to deal with you. I want nothing. I would never want to do like I'm one thing I think about Jesse, thank God he does have like kind of like a little bit of a snaggle tooth. Like there's just like one tooth that's like, it just kind of just shows like, you're not from here. Like you're not like, you're
Those
from
aren't
where you're
season
from.
2 teeth.
Yeah, those aren't season 2 teeth. Yeah.
You spent your season 2 teeth on your
Yeah,
car.
it just reminds you that he's from elsewhere trying to be something and he's not there yet. And I think it's just funny how there's just little things about people that you're like, oh, reminder.
I will say though, when they got into that argument, first of all, Jesse saying, you need to stop saying things about my friend. When you're putting it in someone else, I feel like it's fair to say maybe we could find a different word than your friend.
Oh, yeah.
Like, can we just be adults and be like, oh,
Yeah.
the girl that I'm seeing,
Yeah.
or, that girl down in Orange County, like
Yeah.
calling her your friend just makes me feel like, do you think we're that stupid?
He's so making a point to not, she's not a part of this. She didn't sign up for this. She's I'm keeping her separate. You will not speak my friend's name. I will not either, and you will not either. Like it's a control thing. It's all very,
I did find it though so interesting how great Janet was going toe to toe with him.
Yeah.
And he was like, you can't handle this heat. Like, you're writing checks your body can't cash,
know.
girl. You can't handle the truth. Like, I just thought he was such a cheese dick when he was like, you don't want to get involved in this fight. And she's like, no, I actually do.
He said, don't play games with me. She said, I'm not playing games with me. He said, then said something along the lines that you're not equipped to play this type of game
Yeah.
with me. And what did she do?
She was like, what game? No, she's like, what game? And then he walked away, I thought.
She walked away. And then granted said that comment. But like, again, I'm not gonna spend the next hour of defending Jesse. But
Jesse,
like
apologist.
we are like making shit up. Like she didn't play the game. She can't play the game with him. He's clearly better at playing this game than
that's
everyone here.
I thought
It's not interesting. You said it. You think that he's a master manipulator and has planned everything in his life and is like constantly zoning in and going to everything with a plan. Janet can't handle this, dude. He told her, she knew it, and that's why she walked away. Lucky for her, she got a zinger in because of what he said. Oh, your friend shouldn't have been cheating. Oh, I would have cheated on you too. Like, cool, great line. But yeah, Janet, you can't handle this game. Walk the fuck away. Even Jason looked at her and was like,
oh, I thought she went toe to toe with him. I didn't think he killed her.
She walked away. Like,
I mean,
what's toe to toe?
she like the
He
way that
lasted
he
all
said something
round.
to her that made her kind of stop, and so it made me think like, what is Jesse about to say if she doesn't stop right now? But I also thought that Jason, I didn't think that Jason looked like. I thought that Jason looked like kind of an idiot in there because Jason actually started to defend Jesse and was like,
For half a second.
and then he went in on his wife, and Jason probably was like, shit. Jason just sort of sat there and like
But
let him.
what he said was like, you're telling people to block her and not follow her, whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, I never told anybody that. And Jason was like, you did. You told me under his breath. And she's like, okay, I told you, but that doesn't count. Which like, cool, I'll give you that pass. That's your husband. Like it.
Yeah, she said
count.
that's not people. It's my
yeah,
husband.
but same thing. Doesn't count. Like in regards to like, that's not people. It doesn't count. He's not. But like, yeah, even Jason was like, Jason was not being like, yo, dude, calm down, stop, like that. He just sat there, and then the only opportunity he had to keep his mouth, just keep it shut, like just don't say anything. He was like, oh no, you did do that thing, remember? To his own, like.
I know. I guess listen, everything that you're saying, that's what happened. I thought that Jason in that moment was probably like, I think that Jesse went too hard. And I think that Jason in that moment was like, hopefully, if Jason is a person with a functioning brain, I hope that he regretted, like he basically told Jesse what his wife said, numero uno, and then no, don't do that shit. And then also he started to, because she said, are you even together with her anymore? And Jesse's like, no. She goes, then why are you defending her? And Jason goes, well, he wants to be together with her. And then right after that is when Jesse starts in on Michelle. And then I feel like Jason in that moment was like, shit, I just defended you. And now you're now you're like going after my wife right now. And I want to say something. You're right. She did do that, but I'm the one that told you that. I feel like Jason, I was like watching the inner workings of Jason's, a whole moment of a regret, a big regret. I wish I wouldn't have said this. I also wish I just wouldn't have defended you right now because now you're talking shit to my wife and I want to say something, but I've sort of started this in my own way because I'm the one that told, like, it was just
when he was like, you don't want to play this game, you're not equipped. Jason did say, okay, or like, whoa. He did.
Yeah, but it was very like, okay.
But it was very, it was
very
after the
passive.
fact.
You know, like he didn't know what to do in that like it was I don't know. I think Jason was a little like not happy with the way that he handled any of that for, you know, telling on what his wife said and then also defending him. And Jesse not like any other guy, like you would be like, that was cool that you just came to bat for me in that moment, and that's your wife. Thank you so much. Any normal person would go, I'm just gonna leave it there, you know. But Jesse's like, and another thing, you're not equipped for this. Like it just was like, I hope that Jason doesn't go forward and tell Jesse any more things, and you know
He will.
He wants to keep his job.
They're in a group chat.
Chatty daddies. When they all get Jax's TMZ notifications, I think Zach goes, who leaked this? And in that second, I was like, Janet, clear. Like that just seems to me like Janet's MO is to be like has somebody on speed dial that's like she's leaking everything to. And then
I thought Jesse.
No, I think it was Jax.
Yeah, it's 100%.
Oh.
Jax.
Like, can you see Jax? Because he's there with his phone. And like, and then Janet said one stupid thing. Only Jax would
rage text from
rehab.
Like that was a better line than the other one.
Well, no, but I think if anyone has any family members that have been to rehab, it's actually part of the process. Like if you're not rage texting from rehab, you're not doing it right.
You're not actually at rehab.
Yeah, you come out of rehab hopefully not rage texting, but when you enter rehab, you are telling everyone everything you ever thought of them. I have gotten some doozies myself.
So I think, remember we were saying like, why was he calling it a mental facility or something? And granted, do I think he used like the wrong phrase?
Cool. Whatever's cool, you know?
Yes.
Well, mental health is so hot right now.
Yes. I guess he went twice. And the first one was for mental health. And I guess the second one was more geared towards rehab from drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
That's what Jesse said on the podcast. Because I just remember we had asked like, what was going on. So I guess that's what it was.
Yeah.
Listen, is it surprising that Jax is rage texting from his mental facility? No, none of it's surprising. The fact that he's texting Kristen like, I love it here. I feel so healed. Life is really a bowl of cherries and the sun's a ball of butter, whatever the line is. And then he's in the same breath texting Britney, you whore, you ruined my life. It's like, this guy is kook-a-doodle-doo.
He's like, I will never forgive you. You took my show away from me. Like, I worked so hard to get here, and now you've ripped, like...
No, you took away the only thing I ever loved.
Yeah, like just something.
Which was what,
so,
his show?
Like, his show,
quote unquote.
And then there was something else about
or
that.
Or cocaine, one of the two. I can't remember. I don't know which one.
But definitely not his son, which is the right answer.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, no. But then he says that he, like, when it keeps bopping to his, like, his video,
his vlog
diaries, his video journal, I feel like someone probably comes in and goes, hey, Jax, we're all meeting in the commissary or the, you know, whatever. And he's like, oh, just 1 second, I'm just doing my video diary. And they're like, wait, you don't have to. Like, he's just
we don't do video diaries.
We don't. Nobody told you to do that.
No, it's for my show. I'm on a show.
Jax, we didn't tell you to do that either. You'll use it. They'll use it. I know they'll use it.
Anybody know how to get the 4K setting on your phone?
Jax is probably in there with someone actually famous, right? Yeah. And God knows he's talking about like, and you don't even know, because then Lisa was Vanderpump.
No.
She was mad at me.
Meanwhile, she's
LVP.
Jax did not go to a rehab with famous people, because if he did, he would have never said in his video diaries that he didn't like the people and he hated it there, right? Because if a famous person was there, he would have been
get it.
I'm here with I can't tell you who it is, but like we're the same. basically. Like, you
But,
know what I
like, he
mean? Like,
was
he
in The
would have
Departed.
fucking bought that. That's why he didn't like it, is because there wasn't anybody there that,
He's famous.
yeah, it's probably.
He's out
Fucking
of control.
douche.
Yeah.
Out of control.
Yeah, that
I
guy
did
needs to.
think it was interesting when Britney was like, I thought I was going to get 30 days of peace. Like, how silly of me.
No, but she says he's complaining like, you haven't sent me a care package. You haven't visited.
Listen,
It's
like,
just
I'm not, this is the only time I defend Jax.
No, because you hate all women, so you're defending
yeah,
Jax.
and he's
And
not a
The
nice
fact
guy.
that she said, like, look, Britney is so checked out on this thing. Like, I think this is probably why this episode annoyed me so much, is because there was so much of it that wasn't, it just like, it's like we're a year and a half in, right? Like, this is why all these shows, at least for me, they take so long to get hooked on, because the first season, nobody knows what they're doing. The producers don't really know. The cast is like, oh, I'm on a TV show? I was just a normal idiot 2 weeks ago. So, like, nobody knows how to act on camera. You get your occasional superstars that are just fine on camera, but like, nobody gets it. And then season 2, you're like a little sophomoric. You think you know what's going on, but you don't really. So you get through season, and by season 3, now we know who everyone is. We've got some storylines. We got some backstory. I've like hated you and loved you and whatever. So like, these people are still in season, like half of season 2. I don't think they know quite yet what the fuck they're doing, how to do it on TV. Totally agree with you about Michelle, but everyone else is kind of the same too. Like, Britney just runs around obviously stirring shit up, right? And like, Britney's so checked out on Jax,
Totally.
like has been for so long,
Yeah.
that all of this seems fake to me. Like,
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
no, it's fine. She
Like,
should have been
she
checked
should have
out
been
on
checked out
Jax a long
8
time
years
ago.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
but
she should have
now,
been checked out when he proposed. When he asked her on the
Yes,
first
yes.
date.
but now it doesn't seem real. Like, I can't take any of you serious with these dumbass costumes that you have at the racetrack. I can't take Britney serious. If she wasn't checked out, and if she did want to save her, if this was a concern, if she did care about Jax and the father of her child and her son in this unit, whether they're going to stay together, marriage or whatever, she would have checked in on him. She would have never in a million years been like, whew, time for a little me time. No, your husband's in rehab, dude. Like, granted, he's a piece of shit, but that's your husband still, and that's your baby's dad. Like, and he's in rehab. Like, he's in sickness and hell. And like, listen, you, Jax, you're a piece of shit. But you're not wrong. Like, yeah, dude, that's when you're supposed to be there. That shit bugged me to no end, because she's out partying. He's right. She doesn't give a shit. And I'm not saying she has to give a shit. I'm fine that she doesn't. But don't sit here and try to be like, not you, but like, I don't want her to be like, oh, I care, and I just want, no, you don't. You don't give a fuck. And so just say that. Like, I don't give a fuck about this, dude.
No, that
You get the fuck out of my life. Die in there. I don't give a fuck. You're never going to see your kid again. You fuck this up. I'm not going to leave you notes, you piece. Sorry, I know I'm doing the cuss words, but like, just say that. Don't sit there and cry. But Rage texting me, and hey, we need to take care of Jack, and hey, don't tell Jack, and don't give him a Jesse. Don't tell him we're going, because he can check out anytime. None of you care about Jax. Maybe Jesse does.
I think
and
Jesse
maybe Jason
wholeheartedly
does.
I never realized that Jesse and Jax go so far back. Like, I didn't know that they knew each other. Like, they were both models in a model house.
Someone said that in okay, let's also not throw around the word model so strongly.
What is it?
I feel like
they
were, yes, but like, you know how sometimes, no shade, but like, there's like real models, and then there's people who are like Jax and Jesse.
They were Naomi Campbell, but like, I'm just saying, like, I think that they
Like a Paige DeSorbo.
wait, what?
Like a catalog kid.
Oh,
Like she said, she did catalog. I agree with everything you're saying. I do think Britney is so checked out, and it would behoove her to just be like, rot in hell.
I also think that this is a fine line. Like, Bravo watchers like want to see, they don't want you to be too excited about something, but they want you to stand for something though. And so for her to just say, you don't have no, like, yes, I I always thought that this day would be the greatest day of my life. Maybe I've let too many days go by. Maybe I have let him do too many things. Maybe I have witnessed and felt so many hard hits from him that like I'm numb now. I want to feel something, but I can't tell you how glad I am to just not have him breathing down my neck. You know, like I would love to hear anything like that from Britney, but she's too scared. She doesn't know what the line is. She doesn't know what the thing
line
is.
is Jesse's line. I feel like it will be a weight lifted off my shoulders for the next 30 days. That's the line. Because for her, it's going to be a weight lifted off her shoulders.
That's not the line though, because of the audience. You have to walk the line of the audience.
Okay,
And
yeah, I mean, fine. I'm forgetting that they're getting a divorce and beating each other up for audience.
Because she did.
My bad, guys.
No, she did say though, like, I'm filing for divorce. Like, I'm out on you. I think she just needs to be a bit more forceful.
But she didn't
her-
really. She said, if you don't stay there for 30 days, I'm doing all these things. Which also, like, is like kind of a testament to what, not testament, but like, kind of what you said is like, okay, granted, Brit, yes, leave. But you were just talking about having another kid with this dude 10 minutes before you, couldn't believe that you had to leave. So like you were going to bring another child into the world with him.
yeah.
She said she was going to leave him into the restraining order, but only if he didn't stay there for 30 days, right? Like that was the threat. So like, okay, cool. He does stay there for 30 days. You're not getting a divorce, no restraining order. He gets to see the kid. You're having another kid. So like, there's just...
I think that all we've seen of Britney, lovely girl, her friends seem to super love her, think that she is the sweetest, can't wait for her to get back her, God, Britney hasn't barfed in a driveway in 6 weeks. Like, God, I can't wait for Britney to get back to her old self. Like, I think that Britney is a great friend to people. I think she's just shining light in her group of friends. Britney has taken this guy back so many times because Britney, for whatever reason, name them or don't, has shit self-esteem. I think that she has let him back in a million times because she wants love. She wants attention, like a love attention.
Yeah.
It's not happening right now. And the time that like for most people when they're looking, like if you take Jax, who we all know Jax to be, out of the situation, we're seeing a guy that has been riddled in addiction and has for so many years and has had these really high highs and really low lows. And now he has, again, take the person Jax out. A husband is finally going into rehab to seek treatment. And the time that you would almost want a wife to be like there and forgiving or let him back in or turn a blind eye or whatever. She did it at all the times that were like, not the times that like she should have. If in an ideal situation, this would be the time that she would do that. And she's not. And so they're, again, take Jax out of it like you don't know him.
To help that,
No,
like,
that is an interesting
I have
point.
the same note. Like, it's funny that Jax got everything he wanted from her for 10 years.
Yeah.
And now the day that he's like, oh, I'm going to go get help. Now she's like, you got everything for 10 years. Now she's gone. And now you're like, oh, I can't believe you're not helping me out. Well, no, she did. She did for 10 years, bro.
Yeah.
And it went right over your fat.
Yeah.
And so she said, I'm done. And now you're like, oh, I don't understand. Why didn't she there for me? Well, she was. You didn't
Right.
appreciate it, and she bounced.
Totally. We have watched her go back so many times when she shouldn't have, when he wasn't doing anything right. And now that he's actually doing something, it seems weird that she couldn't care. Like because Britney is on a show now. Britney has maybe seeing this guy on the side, is got a birthday party that a dude's coming to, so she's not inviting him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't invite you, you'll ruin it. But also, this guy I'm nailing is coming. Like, so there's like, it's just not all the reasons that people, audience, viewers, not me, not anyone here, but like it's off-putting to see her deal with so much bullshit for so long, and then the time that you think that maybe you should be standing by your man is when he is off in treatment and all the things. So I think that
Also-
that's like what is making it weird, because like later on, just to say this about like the peace pipe circle, when Jason is the one that brings him up, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad you said that, Jason. I would have, but I would have cried." No, you wouldn't have.
Yeah, you've been
I don't
giggling
care.
all f***ing night.
Yeah, I don't care that you didn't, Brittany. Like, you do whatever you want, but like, own that you weren't going to bring
Yeah,
him
dude.
up because
Yeah.
you're done with him, because he has pushed you to the limit times 1,000. You have reached your point for whatever reason. You're getting some attention, you're getting some love, you're getting some money. You don't need this guy right now for all, like, to fill all the holes that you had before. Good for you, man. Good for you. But drop the like, well, I was gonna cry if I said it. No, you weren't.
Well, I think that's what Mike is touching on, where it's like, if you're going to go with this, you got to go full throttle.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's very confusing because she clearly does love this, or had great love for this ding dong,
Yeah.
right? But now, not only was she at her breaking point, but then she's getting attention from guys that are giving her non-abusive attention, right?
Yeah.
Like Jack's attention always seemed to be
Yeah.
a little bit either abusive or connected to something weird,
Yeah.
or he would lord something over her head. It wasn't healthy. How about that? It was like an unhealthy attention.
Yeah. No,
And so now it's like, oh, I got a good paycheck.
Yeah.
I got a guy who thinks I'm
banging.
who actually wants to, have sex with
Yeah.
me. And when Jax didn't, and I can't stand this guy, and it's been this way for a while. And so I know she feels all of that because of her actions, but she's just got to say it. And by the way, she gets to say it. He's indefensible. So now is the time to own the fact that, like, I'm so happy that you're in rehab or a mental facility
Yeah.
or both. Get all the help you want. I'm out, bro. There was this thing that happened on the Real Housewives of Orange County where Vicky Gumbelson, the OG of the OC, something had happened to her, and she was so in the wrong, but for some reason she thought that she was the one that was wronged, and just thought that her example to everyone was like, you should have checked in on me. Someone should have brought a casserole. And
Oh,
every
yeah.
time she would say that, it was just so laughable. And when I hear Jax talking about, like, you couldn't send a care package, you haven't sent me some muffins and edible arrangement, I'm like, you
Yeah.
and Vicky in this goddamn casserole.
Yeah.
Like, you've behaved. Vicky, you have dated someone who faked cancer,
Yeah.
and you were in basically on a cancer scam, and you want someone to bring you a casserole? Like, Jax, you have been verbally abusive, physically
yeah.
abusive. You have had just awful behavior on television that we have seen for
Yeah.
over the better side of a decade, and you want us to send you an edible arrangement?
Yeah.
How about just go quietly into the dark night, get help, and come back, write a great memoir, and
Yeah.
apologize for your sins?
Yeah.
How about that, Jax?
Yeah. All of this shit, they have just shown us there's just nothing to root for with this couple. Like, either one, she stayed when she wanted to, when she was getting what she needed, and then she didn't need anything anymore. So she didn't. Great. But like, I just don't feel bad for either of these people. Like, they are just like, y'all dug your grave and you laid in it and partied in it, and for God knows how long. And now the grave is like, you've got better accommodations now, and who cares? Like,
What would
I
honestly
don't
be
care about
nice
these two.
to see is, like, if she took this time to get help herself. And listen, I get it. You haven't had sex in a long time. You haven't felt attractive in a long time. So go out, get yours. That I have no opinion on. Actually, I get that. I think, okay, that makes sense. But I would just love for there to be some part of the conversation of, like, I also was part of this unhealthy relationship, and and I'm not
Yes.
talking about the abusive part of it.
No,
but
God,
none of that
no.
stuff.
We'll be clear about that now so that we don't have to do anything
Yeah.
later on. Like, yes, nothing to do with the abuse.
And maybe she is in therapy for all this stuff, but, like, clearly she went through a lot. And so it would be nice if she could just talk about, like, the help that she's getting to heal from clearly a toxic
yeah.
situation.
I'm telling you, if she does not find a new dude in
She'll
like
be
Oh,
right
right
back
back.
into
God,
that
I
fucking
hope
house.
not.
no, she will be because
100%.
you don't stop that after this long. You don't stop unless you are being proactive about getting ahead of all of those things. They're going to be coming at you any second now. The second the cameras go off, the second they're done, like they just filmed the finale, or not the finale, the reunion. So like that's done. There's going to be some downtime right now. And that is a slippery slope for someone who hasn't faced head on all the reasons as to why they were in a 10-year relationship of just psychotic ridiculousness.
It's giving Catherine and Thomas Ravenel.
Yes. Yeah.
Two things. One, B is now in a cubby, which is kind of
Oh my
impressive.
God. She's like, I can fit in here now.
If it fits, I sit.
Yeah. I couldn't fit in here last time. That's how I know. It's like trying on that pair of pants and you're like, I
Yes.
couldn't even get into
That's her
these.
skinny cubby.
And that's a skinny cubby.
Like, she's so cute, guys.
It's like the prom dress you couldn't get into. It's like, we're just going to Taco Bell, but I can fit into this, so I'm wearing it.
Yeah. Guys, should we get into the Janet Zach stuff real quick?
Yeah.
I soups appreciated how he called her
Buttoned up his
over,
shirt.
buttoned his shirt, but how he was like, hey, can I get you a beer? They sat down. I thought he gave a great apology. I thought he said, I was a lot of that, was on me, what happened, and I'm sorry for it. He's like, I also think, you played a part, and if we could maybe both just talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't think he made it impossible for her to apologize. She clearly didn't want to apologize. She doesn't want to take any ownership of this. But I thought, bravo, Zach. Well, it was a good apology.
No, I thought it was great too. He didn't. I thought it was funny that he basically said to her almost verbatim, like what she said to Kristen. And then, but like had like the same exact, like couldn't believe that Kristen wouldn't own up to anything. But then she didn't really want to own up to anything. Like,
What was she supposed to own up to? I'm curious.
I have no idea. I mean, well, Janet, I can only imagine. I'm sure she has 5 things at least to probably be like, yeah, I did do that or whatever. But I think that
probably in life, but in this specific, like, granted, I don't think this obviously this thing was way blown out of proportion. I don't think Zach was like, oh, I want your baby to die. But like, Janet didn't do anything wrong in this scenario. She was.
I think that they talked about what she did, which was he's like, we talked about it. I thought we squashed it. We were good. And then you excluded me from the baby moon. And I think that the interesting, like the new information that I didn't know about before was that the house just didn't have enough rooms. But she never said that. She like that would be my first thing because I don't want a confrontation. I don't want anyone to feel bad. I want to negate all of that if I can. Even if I don't want you to come, my first thing out of my mouth is going to be like, bro, Jason, it's only 3 rooms. There's 4 rooms total. 3 couples. Like I don't know. Like, but she never said that. She was just all about wielding her power of like, I'm having the event. I do the invites. I'm deciding who do I want to come and what. You don't think that that's a Janet thing to do? Not like leave that little piece of information out.
I'm not on team Janet. Janet's a Looney Tune, but like she didn't say there wasn't enough room. She said she kind of used that as an excuse. Like my husband found a house that there maybe wasn't enough room and we weren't in a good place yet. I wasn't comfortable with you there. That's what she told him. Like she didn't want him there. Rightfully so. She thought this dude just said that he wanted her baby to die in the middle of a bar that the new news was that got carried out of. Like they had to escort him out of the bar. Like that's how shitty he was. So like that apology, and he said, I apologize. It was kind of shit. Like if somebody came to me to apologize for getting blackout drunk and saying a thing that may have been misconstrued to, oh, I want your wife's baby to
Oh, it was
die.
definitely misconstrued.
Fine,
He didn't
but
wish
like
for.
And then you came to apologize and you're, oh, Nia, I just need, oh, okay, go ahead with what? This is you apologizing. Like that shit was crazy.
Okay. Don't you think that part of this whole
Zach
thing
is crazy
because like we don't know
And then he
since
starts
there was no
crying
reunion
again.
since there was no reunion there was no wrap up of like whatever, like there just no hashing out like what the details were on anything. That's why you got to have a fucking reunion.
Even if it's in the clubhouse.
Even if it's in the clubhouse,
Right,
we
but
don't
we
care.
all agreed that it was nothing. It was him being drunk and like
But
somebody saying,
that's-
"Ooh," like
That's what I'm saying. What we don't know is whatever happened. This whole thing, this entire debacle, this beef that has originated, like where this whole shitstorm started from, is
people
Zach
getting
telling.
blackout drunk on TV and
No.
expecting it to be like, well, that to be an excuse.
No, I think she's saying there was
Trying to
something
tell you.
else.
Okay.
Zach, like the whole thing between all of them, between Kristen and Jesse and Michelle and all started when Janet and Zach had some conversation about Michelle being a racist and or a Republican and or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like in a chat where she was voting for something where Janet thought she doesn't have all the information. I don't think, something around
the don't say gay
don't
stuff,
say
which
gay
obviously
or
triggered.
or like
Zach.
bathroom stuff. Like who can take a
was
shit
something
in what bathroom? Like I don't know.
It was something
Yeah.
around like LGBTQIA
Yeah.
rights. Yeah.
And so Janet told Zach whatever she told him, and then Zach talked to Kristen, probably in high regret for
I was just
that.
gonna say
now.
that's the cardinal sin.
Yeah, exactly. But we still don't know what was actually said, but that's where it originated. It was between
Where what originated?
what I just said, a conversation had about Michelle, which then Zach told Kristen, and then Kristen brought
Told
it up, told Michelle and an audience of I think
At girls'
everyone
night at
at
her
girls'
house.
night.
What does
Yeah,
this have to do? I think I missed the part where we left the I want your baby to die party.
Oh,
and
because
now we're
that's
at a
how the
shitty
fight-
apology.
No, because that's how the fight exploded at the bar.
'Cause
So
you
there was a
asked-
fight. Yeah.
You asked what
was the precursor to all of this?
What did Janet do wrong? What is she apologizing for? I think this is not just. I think the show that we watched tonight or last 2 nights ago, or last night was about the talking about the baby thing. But when he says, I think that I did somewhere along the way things went really sideways. I think I've got some explaining to do. I think you've got some some apologizing to do. And I think so. I don't think we're just talking about the one thing.
Yes.
I think it seems to be a variety of things. And my guess is that that's got to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think what happened was
Yeah, I
Zach
didn't see
and
that.
Janet.
I didn't. I'm not saying that's not true, but like, didn't even occur to me that was part of this conversation.
Oh yeah, this argument that they
I know it does. Like I know that argument happened. It was the first thing that we ever saw on this show. Like this apology to me was Zach trying to be like, I need to get this thing right and apologize. So like that's what I took from it. Him going to Michelle and being like, do you think it's a good time to talk to her and apologize and try to squash this? I should get her a beer. Let's go. So like, you fooled me, Zach. I thought you were going to take her outside and actually be like, listen, there's no excuse to get blackout drunk. I shouldn't get blackout drunk. We really have a problem with this blackout drunk on these Bravo shows. It's a disaster. Every time it happens, someone does something so horrifically awful. And then for the next 5 weeks, we're like, I was blackout. How can Britney tell somebody that I said something when I was blackout when we all know I was blackout and I didn't mean it? Okay, don't get blackout drunk. Don't get blackout drunk, dude. And then if you do and you say some horrible shit, do an apology that doesn't contain faces and like exasperated movements and calling your friend over so she can be your emotional support hand. Like,
I took it when he called Nia over.
Shit.
He was using it as like a way to I'm not saying it was right, wrong, whatever. I just thought he was using it as a tool to like calm himself down so that he didn't try to start keep fighting.
Yeah.
Or
like,
also
why do
because
you
you need
need
someone else here, even though the cameras are here, we don't know what's going to be in the edit. We don't know how they're going to shape it. You need Nia there to witness, like, do you see this right now, right? She just told me that Britney called her and made a lunch appointment with her to then tell her what I had said when I'm wasted and I'm talking to my friend. I got to say, I've never said anything like that, but I have said whatever I want to say when I'm drunk and I'm like beefing with someone and I am talking to my best friend in the privacy of my own home or in this on the alley of a bar, like whatever it is, that is off limits. There is no boundaries to what I will say in that moment. I think it's crazy that Britney called and did what she did.
Under normal circumstances, I agree with you. Do you think the only reason she called Janet to tell her this was because she knew it was going to air and she didn't want Janet to be surprised?
No, it's because she's on a TV show and that's Britney's MO this year.
Yeah.
Britney doesn't have Jax. He's gone. She bailed on him. She needs to keep this job that she's convinced herself like, well, I don't need Jax now. I can do this on my own, right? Same with Michelle. When you were saying, I was like, damn, Michelle probably had that same feeling. Like, oh, little chubby bumpkin with a crooked nose falls in love with real estate mogul, whatever, right? And like, but like he probably
Jesse is if he was watching this, he just came. That
But he
mogul
just-
and his
that's
name
the
was
life
He
that
just
he-
kicked up his moccasins.
that's the life that he wants.
driving
He's
low for a
projecting.
second.
That's he's trying to get. That's the life he's projecting to potential suitors. She fell for it, right? And then got a little bit there, got a dinner, got a meeting with Quentin Tarantino, sold a house, did a $60 million deal. I'm on the TV show too. I don't have to, like, they're both having these moments, right? Of like, oh, I'm good enough. I can do this on my own. She did it because that's what Britney's role is now on the Valley, is to like, it's to be the shit stirrer. As a matter of fact, Janet tried it. What happened? Didn't work. She got smoked by Kristen. So now who's going to do it? We need somebody else.
Melissa.
Oh, how about when we get to the part where he's crying again in the bedroom and she's like, why are you crying? And he's like, you told her I was blackout drunk. How dare you tell her? And then what's
How
the next
dare you.
scene? What's the next scene?
I don't know.
We cut into the room and he's motorboating.
Okay.
So,
well,
like,
can you not?
Let me tell you what happened that got cut out. Britney said, are you kidding, dude? Are you kidding? Because what she said, well, it was really bad. And then he like,
And she said, I would have done the same if it was like reversed. If someone said that about you, I would have
yeah.
called. and
What
told
we
you.
probably didn't hear was her being like, bro, because it's show. Like, we're on a show, dude. And that's why he was like, oh, you're right. Let me motorboat these jumps. Like, that's all. Like, this episode sucked, man. This episode had no secret sauce at all. It was goo sauce all over the screen for everyone to see.
Goose.
Like, it just wasn't secret. It just is all fake. This show's this.
No,
it
I
was
know.
the
No, I didn't like
fakest
this episode either.
None
I'm
of
not
it
a
was
fan.
real at
Brittany,
all.
okay, I gotta
Even
say
the
this.
bullshit
When
at the
Brittany
end.
told Zach about this was like a year ago or however long ago. Jax was still around, so she wasn't trying to be like, oh, I got to do this thing now. But Brittany and Jax have been together forever. Jax will say, someone tells me something, so what do? I go, oh, I'll just tell it to Kristen, because then Kristen will handle this whole thing, because Kristen will then tell so-and-so, and then it'll get handled that way. I am sure that Brittany has learned a shit ton from being married to Jax. I'm sure that in that moment, she probably said what happened, and Jax said, you got to tell Janet, right? And she's like, why would I tell Janet? That's crazy. Like, he didn't mean it. He was wasted. Probably didn't remember saying it. And he's like, you got to tell Janet, or I'll tell Janet. Like, because Jax knows how to do a show. Like, that's.
Yeah, but I don't think I think he's like, oh, you got to tell Janet because she's the blabbermouth on. Like, he probably broke it down. I don't even think he did. She probably knows that. Like you're saying now, like she knows that she has to tell Janet because Janet's going to tell
she's
stuff.
gonna act
And then
this
it's
way
going to
now.
be 2 episodes of bullshit before they get on to something.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, it's all Britney running around just being a blabbermouth all season long.
That's what I'm saying. So
while
I
her
was
husband's
not
in
down
rehab
for her.
and her kid is going through this thing. Like,
Either
whatever,
way,
dude.
Either way with Britney. I'm not a big Britney fan right now because like I don't really respect the predicament that you found yourself in. All said, not the abuse. Everything else about how she's just getting rage texted all the time and the women coming in and out and the drugs and the whatever it is. I don't feel bad for her because it's been going on for so long, and I don't have any confidence that she will not ask him to come back the second that she has a couple lonely nights in a row and nobody's texting her back, or the cameras aren't on, or whatever, or just being like seeing her son and being like, I don't want to do this by myself. Like, I wouldn't even judge her for that. That's the real moment of just being like, I'm watching our son do something that like Jax hasn't seen yet. He hasn't even seen him in a week or 2 weeks or whatever. Like, I don't want to do this by myself. I want to be, I want to have a family unit, all the things, whatever. This brings up something else about how I was really wanting Lala and Sheena to be on this show. And I still I love Lala. I tolerate Sheena. I like Sheena. I just don't like Lala. To me, like, she gets me going, and I'm always like, and then what? And then what? Like, I love that about her. And Sheena's just a lovely, nice person, and whatever. But the most wonderful thing that this cast has going for them right now, especially if, like, say Jax doesn't return, he probably will, but like, there's a shot that he doesn't because of just like more and more might come out about his behaviors. And like, at a certain point, all networks kind of try to take stands. You were just saying like, we're not going to, like, this will be a very convenient time for them to take that stand. But if they do, it will be really nice. The fewer experienced reality show kids that we have on this show, like, this could be a really great show for at least another 2 years before they really figure it out. And I don't think we need any veterans, and they've got enough going on. I want to give Lola a different show. But like, this isn't, I hope that they don't bring anybody in, because we're already seeing it. We're seeing Britney right now and going, and my little conspiracy brain is going of just, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. And we don't want you guys to know what you're doing quite yet,
I don't necessarily think Luke knows what he's doing, and I think he had a breakout moment. I think he had 2 breakout moments this episode. I thought he was super sweet with Kristen when she was upset in their room. I thought he was a really good, like, loving partner, because so much of the time, and it's so sweet that guys want to do this for chicks, but it's not always what a chick wants, where like, if they have a problem, you just want to fix it for her because you don't want to see her upset, and that's valiant and wonderful and lovely. But sometimes it's just like, there isn't an answer right now. Just listen and like, tell me you love me, and like, we're in it together. And I felt like he really did that in such a beautiful way. And I didn't see it coming. I didn't realize his emotional depth, and I really liked it. And to that end, he, I think, also showed a sweet side of himself during the Kumbaya ceremony, which I would love to do. Where,
of course,
that's me. It's who I am. And
all I kept thinking during that, I was like, oh my God, how long is this going to last with Courtney yammering on about these dumb plants?
Okay, I'm getting my cat and I'm going home.
But Luke, during that moment, the way he started it was just like, oh my God.
Dude.
He's like, accepting that this is my life now. As you're standing in the most beautiful city in California, I lived there for 5 years. I dream about it on the regular. I never want to leave LA except when I move back to Santa Bee's Nuts. That's it.
I say all the time, it's as if Nancy Myers designed a town.
Yeah,
that's it.
It really is.
That's it. It's the greatest city in America.
It is.
But at any rate, he was sweet in that moment as well. Right. And I thought it was cute that he got choked up. And I didn't see it coming. I was like, okay, Luke, you don't have bangs anymore. You have this emotional depth that seems really lovely. You were a sweet, supportive partner to Kristen. I just thought it was 10 out of 10 for him.
10 out of 10, except for
him.
Standing on the cliff side, Oceanside, Santa Barbara, on a cliff, and saying, accepting that I live here now. Oh God. But I want to bring in
somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, someone's got to do it. This is what I'm deciding about Luke, that he is a person that when he does go home, he is going to talk about Colorado like he does California. He's going to be like, back in California.
Totally.
Because like
the views.
Yeah, well, because it's just in California. It's just different there. You gotta be there to know. I'm not going to explain it. You
tried tempeh, buddy?
I don't know. Just because of the situation that Luke has in Colorado, that's land, that's not developed. Like there's no power, there's no water. Like he seems like he seems like he was planning on being a real homesteader out there, right?
Living off the grid.
Yeah, like full on living off the grid. So those people will kill you if you go back and talk about California and how Los Angeles is different. Really, buddy? Really, buddy? Do you know why we don't have power and water out here? So no one can find the bodies. Shut the fuck up, Luke.
Take
Like,
you
I
to the
don't think
train
Luke's that
station.
stupid. How much did Jesse regret letting Kristen and Luke help him with this vacation? Like, not the vacation ever that Jesse would have played. RC cars, like, that was the funny part for me with Luke. I was like, oh, Luke plays with RC cars. Like, you set this up. You're way
Radio
too.
controlled. That's what RC stands for?
Is that just now clicking to you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's.
It wouldn't have ever clicked had you not said it clicked, and I would have never.
You're
even-
welcome.
I don't care what it stands for. I'm not interested.
Do we look like the radio controlled audience to you?
Well, no, but you look like human beings who've been on planet Earth for more than 30 minutes.
If I ever owned a radio controlled car, I'm a Barbie girl. I'm
Barbie
a Barbie
has a
girl
radio controlled car.
in a Barbie, right? But we call it her Malibu Dream
yeah,
car.
the
But
Malibu
it's an
Corvette.
RC car. On
But
the
we do-
box, it said RC car,
I
whatever.
think in bigger letters it said Malibu
anyways,
Barbie
that
gets a
was-
Corvette.
Listen, Luke.
Listen,
I'm not an RC car guy. I know.
No, Luke.
No, I know. I
Like,
just
that's
like saying,
who he
listen,
is to
Linda.
me right now.
Oh.
What are the chances you think that hippie lady went back to Kristen and Luke and was like, I'm going to need more for this. Like, I'm going to need more. Like, she quoted them, oh, it'll be $500. But by the time all these assholes finish, she was like, yeah, it's going to be $1,500. I need it. You psychos.
I can't remember. Like, she had like 3 titles. Like, I'm a this, I'm a that, and then the last one was something about like a something photographer, a spiritual
Spiritual photographer.
spiritual photographer.
Even
like,
I have not heard of that,
Yeah,
which
had,
is
like,
saying something.
learn something new.
No, I think they take pictures of your aura.
Oh, is that true?
I think so.
Well, no, because there are cameras that take pictures of your aura. But I thought that was just like it's like a photo booth kind of thing. I didn't know.
Yeah, I thought it was like a infrared, like if your body, it's like if you're exuding heat, like it just.
No, it shouldn't be. How about this? Yes, it could be like a mood ring, but as a camera.
Yeah.
But I think the way they bill it is not that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it's all in the billing.
Yeah.
It could also be photographing spirits that have passed on, like ghosts and shit.
Whoa.
You're not allowed.
That's
They didn't
cool.
sign. They didn't sign the rights over. Janet, has like flicked me in the forehead like since she popped on the screen, and then the more I find out about her, I'm like, I knew that. You didn't even have to tell me that, and I already knew that. Like it all just sort of like adds up, like her being from somewhere else, and then like going on a trip, and then finding herself with the Mondrian, and like, oh, Sheena Shea's here, and then becoming all the things. It all just like. And it's also a great story too. Like even if it's not true, I lean into it. It's a great narrative.
Even if it's not true, it should be.
Yeah,
This should be her story moving forward because that's how much it tracks.
And she looks like she is that. Like it's just too perfect to ignore, you know. So that, but like, you know, when people do, like, you could hate someone, but if you see like, oh, she likes her. Like Erica Jane likes her. Like there's just certain people that you're like, Lala likes her. Like there's just things that you're like, okay,
100%.
You're like asking yourself, like, what is the deal? That is one was who was it last week? Like Jasmine said that when Jasmine said what she said about Jesse last week, it definitely stuck with me. Like Jasmine doesn't seem like someone who liked or would say that they liked anyone. When the vote came up, she could have just been like, you guys figure out your shit. I'm not voting. Like I'm not getting involved. For her to say, I have a great relationship with Jesse. I want him in the house. Like those are two very like and want to, like, she didn't even say that. So it made me wonder, like, what's Jesse got? When I started watching Beverly Hills Housewives again, I hadn't watched it forever. And then starting to watch this last season, when I see Sutton, you know, driving by and honking at Kathy Hilton's, I'm like, oh, Sutton's still on this? But then when she drives to meet up with Jennifer Tilly. And I'm like, I think I talked to you the next day, and I'm like, there's something about, like, I'm so glad Sutton has Jennifer Tilly. It's like the only thing that gives her any, like, Jennifer Tilly has no reason on God's green earth to be spending an extended amount. She spent a lot of time with her. They travel together. Like, I'm not seeing something about Sutton.
The first time I met Sutton, this was years ago. It was when I first started my company, was at a trunk show with Sutton and Jennifer Tilly.
So
they are
that's like
legit friends.
Yeah, exactly. There's no reason for this. Jennifer Tilly has everything, and she's like a cult hero, and like just like all
She
the
seems
things.
lovely.
Yeah, she seems
I
lovely.
like her.
She seems like an oddball, but like also you don't travel. Like Sutton Struck is maybe the last person on the Housewives that I would ever want to travel check into a hotel with.
I wouldn't drive across the street with her,
No,
let
it's a
alone
thing.
go into international waters.
Yeah, it's like it twitch thinking about it. So when I say that Jason is this lovely guy who's like hitched his wagon to Janet, I'm like, Jason is so nice. He's level-headed. He's pragmatic. He's thoughtful. He gives a shit. I'm gonna let's say that my thing is for Jax, like the worst guy on this show is like the guy like you want to do a thing for. And then I thought about just this comment that someone left last week. Tanya Bluebell said, my theory on Jason, aka Tiger, no man who is married to a woman like Janet is that nice. He sees her behavior and either enables it or is the puppeteer. I think his aim is to be the good guy, which he's doing successfully because he's surrounded by villains. Men who are married to cluster bees like Janet are either one of two things, a covert narcissist or a guy who was love bombed by a narcissist and is himself being abused by her. It's usually the former. In subsequent seasons, we'll see his mask slip, but for now, he gets to play the hero. So like in this moment, it like appears to be the latter to me, that he could have gotten love bombed by Janet. She did like seek him out, slipped into his DMs.
Yeah.
That's how they met. And then when he goes to give his like what he's wants to appreciate,
I liked that.
I did, but it like this is this sort of like the fact that he said, I want to let go of my insecurities and embrace confidence. And I thought, you are ripe for the pickings for a person like Janet.
Totally.
I'm sure that she has built him up and she will tear him down the second that it doesn't like.
Well, as you're saying all of this
Get her anywhere
stuff about him, in the back of my head, just because I've watched these shows for so long, I'm thinking like, oh, maybe put a caveat next to like a little asterisk next to this to like TBD.
Yeah.
Because we just don't know enough about him to really give a full bore kind of diagnosis on who he is. And I am with you. As of right now, he seems super level-headed, smart. To me, he seems like the smartest guy in the room. To me, he seems
the voice of reason for the whole show.
Yes. Full Greek chorusing it, right?
Taking Jax to rehab, picking him up, dropping him off, comforting Britney. Oh, Britney, the father,
but
the
if
co-parent.
Yes, picks the right words all the time.
Yes.
I just am thinking to myself, if this is who you are 5 seasons in, okay, now we got a firm background to base all of this off of. I just don't know because we still have the wedding ring stuff to get to this season, and I'm a little bit nervous.
I know, and you don't just find yourself with a Janet.
Wait, can I say something really quickly?
Yes.
You had given a really good breakdown of Mr. Danny Bucco last episode of ours, and I think that everything you said was validated in kind of subtle ways this episode with what he was giving up and what he wanted to embrace. And also when he said when he had to go to his VO job, he was like, well, you know, like, and a job's a job. And like, he was justifying it to us.
Affirming it. Being
like, and
grateful.
I know I'm not, you know, and I was in the spoof of the Fast and the Furious. And like, he's making light of that and trying to really say like, but you know, a job's a job with this voiceover work and all of it. By the way, I want to explain something to people who are not in this industry. It is next to impossible to make it as an actor, a writer, a director. I mean, this is such a hard business. So the fact that he has any credits, I don't honestly even care what they are. Job well done. You came out here, you didn't have any nepotism, or I don't think you did. And not like that totally is some like paved road to success, but it definitely helps.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like, you don't need to justify any of it to anyone. You work enough that you have SAG health insurance, I'm assuming. VO work is nothing to shake a stick at. You make good money. You support your wife. Now 4 kids. You're buying a home. Go on with your bad self. You don't have to justify this to anybody. You like, again, on the Real Housewives of Orange County, I remember when Heather Dubrow, who I think is an excellent housewife, she definitely like can be hated and loved by people and whatever. Alexis had said, like, oh, she's an actress. I've never heard of her. She's not Angelina Jolie. She's not Jennifer Aniston. And I just want to let everybody know that that's an incredibly ignorant comment.
Yeah.
This entire town is made up of people that you don't know the names of.
Yeah.
The gaffer, the actor that's worked their entire lives, and it's just one episode after one episode on all these different shows that get canceled after one season because nothing has any shelf life or like lifespan anymore. Do you know when Cheers started? It was, I think there were like 72 TV shows on
Yeah.
television, and it ranked number 72. But the network was like, I believe in this show. Let's give it another shot to grow. That would never happen now. And now it's one of the most beloved comedies of all times, got 11 seasons on the air. So I'm just saying, Danny, you don't need to justify it. And I think you really nailed him with everything you said, especially hearing what he gave up and what he wanted to call in.
That will happen 1 out of 17 times.
Well, take your win, girl.
That's what I'm doing. I thought it was written all over his face that like, that he is struggling with being so
Enough.
grateful, but so frustrated. Like how many more? I can't even. Danny Bucco was at his job and had to leave to go to another job.
No.
People that
No.
leave.
He was at his second job that he had to leave to go to his first
Oh
job.
yeah.
That's a thing that I want is like, yes, this town is tough and this business is tough and whatever. But everyone, for the most part, that comes here thinks that like, nail this shit. It's not gonna happen to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a superstar. So when it doesn't happen, everyone leaves. Everyone because the pride is, if you have enough pride to think that you can be something in this business, that pride will send you right back home if it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing that gets me with this dude is he's still working. Like most people who are in that state of like frustrated but grateful and trying to walk that line, I'm sure his faith has a lot to do with that. But like they'll just leave. They'll go back. They'll quit. It's too embarrassing. Their friends are constantly asking, hey, what happened to that thing? Hey, did you get but what about, dude, you got the Disney, the iCard? Oh, it didn't work. It didn't. Yeah, no, I didn't. That's only a one thing. And I'm doing the voiceover stuff. Voiceover, what? Oh,
where can I
cool.
see you? It's voice.
Yeah,
you can
no,
only hear
you're just
me
going to hear him. Oh, yeah, cool, man. That's great. Oh, keep me posted. Like that's crushing. And he's still going. Like he's still leaving vacations to take a job like that.
No,
That's gnarly.
But you know what's really
Good
interesting to Nat, and yes, to everything you're saying, but what's interesting to Nat's point, again, I think is when we saw it in the coming attractions, when he comes back, he's like, and now it's time for me to have a little fun because he's bottled up. He just cooks it all,
Yeah.
right? The anxiety, the frustration of like,
Yeah.
when's it going to be my turn? Where like I always say from The Family Man, it's this holiday movie or whatever, where what's his name? Not Nick.
No,
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
He basically was this high-powered guy, and then he goes to selling tires, and he wants to buy this expensive suit, and his wife's like, "You're insane." Come on, B. Come on, B. Not B. Okay. And so anyway, his wife's like, "You're insane. We're not spending $2,500 on a suit." And he looks at his daughter, who just got a $25 pair of Mary Janes, and he's like, well, she got the shoes. And his wife's like, yeah, they were $25. And he goes, great, where are my Mary Janes?
Yeah.
And anytime I don't get what I think I've worked really hard for, I always say like, where are my Mary Janes? And I just think so much of Jesse's life is bottling the fact that he's crushed that he hasn't gotten his Mary Janes yet. And I think I think that's why he does overdrink. And I think we're going to see him try to be like, no,
Yeah.
these are my Mary Janes.
Yeah.
Sorry if that's a little.
When like years ago, I was out with my buddy Mike Levin. We worked on shows together, and he was like, he had just like there was a Deadline article that was up that like basically was just like announcing like one of like something he was in development with, like, and I like reposted the article, and then I remember him going, "Can you take that down?" And I go, yeah, why? And he's like, because like it's just development and like everyone's gonna call, like my whole family's gonna call me and be like, your show, you sold your show. And then I have to explain that like I didn't sell the show. They've just agreed to develop it and I like, we'll find out in a year, probably won't go, and I just like don't want to. And it's like my one writing credit is on a TBS show that was on one season. And that's it. And I don't even like to talk about it because no one knows this show. No one's seen this show. One season. You get so jaded about like what matters and like what is an actual accomplishment because of like all the questions of just like the normal people who just love you and care about you and are excited for you. But they're like, so then you're on staff. No, I'm not on staff. I was just working for this guy and he hired me to do this one show. So is it getting renewed? No, it's actually already can't. But hasn't aired? Hasn't even aired. We already know the network's not picking it back up. But like, there's just all these questions and all these explanations and all these. I'm not really a this. I'm just a that. And it's not really. But like, if somebody told me that, I truly would be like, you wrote an episode of television that was broadcasted, like, and people in the. I guess still get WGA checks for like, oh, somebody watched it in an airplane.
Yeah,
like someone took it and like. But like you, after 10 years of going, like it just doesn't seem like it seems like more of a hassle to tell people about something because of like the 15 questions that are going to garner the answer that you don't want to give because it's too many things that all end up really pointing back to still haven't made it.
And God bless everyone. They just don't understand. And how could you? Because it's a cockamamie, nonsensical industry. And it just, I remember like going home and I would always pray that I would book something before I went home. So when people said, oh, what are you up to? You would have, oh, I just shot this Chevy commercial or I have a guest star on whatever, show. Because it is a pride, so to quote Jerry Maguire, it is a pride swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about. Because I couldn't even, there's no start, there's no end. No. It's and when it goes well, it's the best feeling in the world. If this is what you love, right? Yeah. But when it doesn't, it can just be what we're seeing with Danny play out, just this really tough day-to-day life. Yeah. And it's why I think he wants to get hammered. Yeah. And let off some steam because he's not just allowing himself the space to be like, I chose the craziest occupation. It's not linear. You want to be a doctor? You go to school for it. If you're lucky, if you study hard enough and you can pass the tests and whatever, you get to be a doctor. Yeah. You want to be a lawyer? It's the same thing. You want to be a teacher? It's the same thing. There is no linear trajectory to being an artist. And I feel like for whatever reason, he hasn't given himself the grace of just.
No, because it's been like 20 years. Of nothing that he can call home and be like, I'm in a movie with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. I'm playing the third guy. I'm playing it's a trio, me, Ange, and Brad. Dude, one time I'm remembering this. One time, like Mike was working with a company. He was working with developing stuff with Talpa, which is they produce The Voice, right? You were on The Voice, you're working on The Voice, and then that happened.
It's John DeMal's company. The Big Brother, The Voice.
Yeah. Oh, huge.
Floor.
Massive.
So one time, he'd gone to like however many meetings there. And then like one day he like just probably had been doing that for like a year. And like he has a voicemail on his phone and like he doesn't even like listen to it because it's just like, whatever, it's just schedule another development meeting that's, however long. And I feel like he didn't listen to it for like 3 days. And it was like the voicemail was like, we want to option that show about to the like whatever it was. I can't remember. It was like outdated laws or something like, and the voicemail was like the voicemail that you dream to get. Yeah. I remember being like, just give a voicemail, just listen. He's like, the look on his face was just like,
you've just had all the hope beaten out of you, though. That's why you don't listen. Because the 99% chance of the voicemail going, hey, buddy, it was they loved you. They thought you're a star of a developer. They are going to pass on this project.
Yeah. They loved you so much. Thought you were great. Thought that story you told was so funny.
About your grandma who turned out to not be your grandma.
Birthday.
Maybe that could be something to develop. because they're passing on this. Like, it's just, you cannot ever explain it to someone. I always think it's so funny to me when, the normal part of the population who doesn't choose this insane line of work will say, oh my God, like I lost my job and I've just been interviewing and it is so hard. I'm like, oh, really? Like how many interviews have you been on? They're like 3. And all 3, sorry, I'm not trying to make light of it, but they're like, and all 3 companies said no. I'm like, that's a Wednesday during pilot season.
Yeah.
Like there is no bottom. There is no bottom of the rejection barrel when you are in this industry. So of course Mike would still not have listened to that voicemail if you didn't.
Yeah, because he was like, "It's Friday. I just don't want to
Ruin the
he just,
weekend."
didn't really want to okay, yeah, I'll just deal with it on Monday. I'm sure it's just scheduling another meeting for the 200th time or whatever. And then to hear those words so I talked to so and so and we really want to option your show.
It's all happening.
I'm sending over the contract and Mike's not checking his email, not checking. And even still, he was just listening to it with just staring at the wall, going. He almost didn't even compute because it was just I don't even
It's
know.
he couldn't even register a compliment because he'd been beaten, told he was awful and ugly.
Yeah. He still didn't really even understand what they were saying, and then he put it on speaker and replayed it, and I was like, and he's still. I will never forget that look on your face, which is not the look you thought it would be for a phone call like that, and then whatever, and then of course. All that work again, and then the show doesn't end up going anywhere. But it still is how many people even get that phone call ever? And then yeah, Micah sold shows that just they never make it to air, but they're in NBC's vault. Nobody else is gonna be able to see them. NBC has reserved the right to keep them right here.
I got a lot of cool putters and bikes and camera gear because of it, but that's about it.
That's why we're here on YouTube, because we're not waiting. I don't know if everyone has watched Paige and Hannah's new show on YouTube, but it's so cute.
What's it called?
Hannah and Paige do new stuff, do things.
Try things. Hannah and Paige try things.
Try things. And it is exactly, and they were talking about it on Giggly a couple of days ago, and they were like, just so you know, we decided to do this on YouTube. To be fair, no one wanted it. Netflix didn't this isn't Netflix that wanted it. We didn't turn down Netflix. They didn't offer. We just decided to do it. This is just us and a couple camera ladies. I feel like they hired some ladies and they just basically realized you don't need to go through anyone for anything anymore. It's really
also you could have all eyes on you. I feel like they are leveling up in ways that I didn't even think they thought were possible, and still no one wants to buy their show.
Yeah,
which is or come to them and say, hey, you guys are crushing it right now. Let's capitalize on this. They're doing it for themselves. I don't know if this is the time. I feel like people get confused by the Nowtify name. Do you want to tell them what it means now? Just because I feel like we're on the topic.
Oh yeah,
because
it means no one will do it for you.
Yeah, and
it basically was just this realization of me not wanting to wait for people and not wanting to be reliant and be holding on my agent's assistant saying yes, then my agent saying yes, and then 2 other people at the agency saying yes, and then the lawyers at the agency saying, and then the medium people at the network that have to say, there's 52 people that all have to say yes to sell a show. If one of them along the way says no, you're done. Start over. And so
NBC show where the person you developed it with and then moved to a different network and then it just didn't fit with that network.
Yeah.
It's so we think oh my God, the
that
person
was even worse. We pitched a show to Fox. The second person, the number 2, loved it. The number 1 guy didn't. That number 2 left to run a different network. The network that gave the company that I was working with, they had the overall deal at this new network. So I called them and was like, yo, so-and-so's at the new place. We should take it to her. And we did.
We worked with her from start to finish on this. This was our person that we worked week after week with it on. And who better to go sell it to now?
Yeah. And her mandate when she got her new big-time job was cut costs, don't buy anything. cool.
But what about the thing that you helped us develop?
Yeah.
Lady, this is basically your show for in so many words, like it's just, that's how gnarly this town
It
is.
is. Everything is seconds and inches. All of it. All of it. It's so it's as crazy. And this is what's crazy about it. You think, no, this is truly unbelievable. Okay, that happened, and it's only okay. Whew, glad I got that out of the way. When people are like, "Oh, lightning couldn't possibly strike twice." Like, God forbid you get attacked by a shark. Go in all the oceans for the rest. Live in an ocean because you'll never get attacked again. No, living in LA, living and working in this industry is a constant shark attack because you think, no, it can never happen again. Oh, but it will, and it will be even more bonkers.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we do comments?
Yeah. Laura Cavers says, legit, Jesse and Michelle are mutually the most petty, manipulative, and blaming divorcees of all time. If you have to pick sides, you need a time machine to see who was the first to market when it comes to being a petty little bitch.
You're not wrong.
Was like, no, perfect, nailed it.
That is a good one.
Yeah. Last week when we had a couple 3-hour episodes, which was not the plan. Meteor Wine says, wow, it's like your dealer dropped by with a bumper crop.
That had me rolling.
I said to someone, like, when I hit the red button, I it's not with the intent of doing that at all. I would love for it to not. I don't know how it happens. So
I will say, and granted, I know that it's our show, so this is I get that it's a bias of doing in. It goes so fast when I'm watching. I really,
yeah. So sometimes if they're longer, I'm actually a lot more lenient about just like letting things stay in as well, because I can't be. If it's 1 hour or an hour and 20 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm speeding everything up. I'm nipping and tucking all over the place. When I'm seeing it's 3 hours and 43 minutes, I'm like, go with God. If this sentence even makes sense at all, it's staying, because I just can't. I can't, because I got to get them up in 24 hours. So.
Wait,
but I think we're getting better at it to where, like, if we're, I probably won't keep this part in. But I think that I am in the beginning, they would always have some 30-minute intro about God knows what. And I'd be like, just sitting here, none of that's making it, because we wanted you, if you don't know us, who cares what they had for breakfast? Now you might be interested to know what Courtney eats for breakfast. To look this way, you might want to know
protein pancakes.
How does one get here? But now I'm feeling like we have a little bit more okay, I think you know us well enough to where those things might stay in. Let us know if I'm on the wrong track here. We read the comments clearly.
Wait, I need to just print a retraction real quick. Last week I had a zap of a wire across, and I said constellation, and I meant to say consolation. So in case anyone caught that, just wanted to let the people know.
No one here did. So.
Well, someone out there in TV land did.
Joe Schmo says, I lived in Toluca Lake back in 2000 when I attended FIDM. So I love hearing y'all talk about Burbank. It brings back memories. And I wanted to say that I responded to Joe, so they will not be surprised by this, but I wanted to go to FIDM so friggin' bad. I got all the stuff. I flew to my dad's and gave him this whole entire presentation. And I'm not joking when I say he laughed me out of the room and was like, oh, you want to go to fashion school now? La-ti-da.
I had no idea you wanted to go to FIDM.
Well, I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And so then I knew that I'd already been working at Nordstrom for a year and a half.
Yeah.
I was done with college in the way that I wanted to be done with it, whereas I was done with it. And so I thought, I want to be a buyer. This is what I want to do. And here's a straight path forward. All the things, here's this. I don't need to live there. I've already got a place in LA. Don't worry about it. Thinking, and he was like, this is hilarious. Carol, my stepmom. Carol, get in here.
Do it again for Carol. Carol Whalen. That's the best part. Yeah. That's the best part. Speak up.
She wants to go to fashion school.
By the way, though, I do always love that. Like if I've lived in certain areas of town and I see on a TV show that they're there or they're talking about it, I'm like, oh, what they're talking about is it's very hard to park outside that diner.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
just
yeah,
love
yeah.
the inside baseball of it all.
Yeah. Nettie, Janet does adore her husband. Very nice. But she should get her husband far, far away from Jax. But also, this is TV. So whatever. Nettie with the win again.
Nettie, also in that same kind of vein, because we were talking about Jason going to the dark side. I cannot like Jason because he's friends with Jax and somebody else, Katstein. I think it's more acquaintance by proxy, and I replied, let's hope so. But I'm sure Jason Tiger Woods will turn bad. They all do, which is what I was thinking about earlier when we were talking about him. Like, yeah, how great would it be for Jason to stay nice? But who's stayed nice on a reality show?
And who wants that?
And that's
not Nettie or I.
my next question. Is like,
We don't
yeah,
need
like
that.
that's why I'm like my thing with Jen. I'm like, oh, do we miss Jax? Like, does Jax need to bust out of rehab and get back on the show? Because this shit is boring as without the psychotic Looney Tune.
I think we'll know more when we've got a few Jax-less episodes under our belt.
Yeah.
But even the reunion or the after show he was on, and I was like, I still want to fight this dude all the time. But like, at least I finally had a reaction. You know, I was
Yeah.
finally like,
You're feeling something.
yeah, I was feeling something.
Sometimes I think that Jesse or that Michelle is still so mad at Jesse because I don't think that Michelle's husband has a lot of Michelle's boyfriend, Aaron. I think he's like working. I think he started a business, working that business, probably watching every dollar, having to put out a ton of money for, you know, the drill, like all the things. And I feel like she is missing a life that she once had and is just pissed that Jesse couldn't be a normal dude to enjoy it with.
Well, let me ask, because I was wondering this, because I feel like he was a financial advisor. Did he leave that to start the honey company, or does he still do financial advising and have the honey company?
I don't know, but that would be hilarious. Like, honey, don't you want to go? You liked that job, right? Don't you want to just?
That guy's 12. What financial advice is he giving to people?
This is just what
Yeah, he
Jesse said. He was
said
he was
something
a
about
financial
him.
advisor.
Maybe he wasn't advising very well.
By the way, though, I think this also maybe could just be like a comment of age, because I think sometimes you think like, no one could advise me to do anything if they're younger than me. But there's like a lot of people that are, you know, doing things that are in.
I don't mean to say, that came across. I don't. So like when God, that was so. There's so much of that in my head that nobody knew. When I hear people that are like in their 20s or early 30s, like I'm a financial advisor, like you probably work at a company that does financial advice and you do research and market analysis, and that's cool and like super. But like, do you really have enough experience to financially advise on people's wealth? Like,
Yeah,
maybe
if he's 35, probably.
Okay.
Because Jesse's 45, and I think Michelle's at least in her mid 30s. So I would imagine she'd be dating someone her age or older, right? So he could even be 40.
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying it's not possible.
No, but I know what you're saying.
But yeah, like when it comes to that kind of stuff, I'm like, I'm going to take the dude in his 60s. Thanks.
Ageist.
100%.
I think I always get like,
I'm
God, I
probably
wish
not
I
the
could tell
dude.
someone
I'm
I would
probably-
advise them on anything, even things that I know how to do. When people are like, can I come by your house? When Obi asked me, can I come over and you teach me how to do DaVinci Resolve? And I'm like, I mean, I can show you stuff I do, but it's like how, you know, I'm going to the mall. Why are you going left here? Because it's the only way I know how to get there. Like, that's how I do everything. I teach myself everything, and I probably take an hour longer to do something, but that's just the way I figured out how to do it, and that's it. I would never even I wish that I had the confidence and the ball sack to go, I'd like to advise you on that. It's just never those words. I'm just not that. That's not.
I am
we'll
the
never
opposite.
meet.
And I remember when I started doing estate management, the first house that I got was literally bigger than the White House. I was in my 20s and running everything.
Yeah.
And I hired a woman who definitely was more equipped for this job because I wanted to leave. And she was in her mid 50s, had run houses like this stacked resume. And she looked at me and she's like, I'm sorry, you're 20 what? And you're doing this job. I'm like, I know I shouldn't be here. But I just was like, screw it. No one else is showing up. So I guess I could do payroll. Haven't done a math class since I was 18 and I was an acting major, but don't let any of that fool you.
There's a YouTube on this, I'm sure.
Yeah. By the way, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Maximum Doll is coming in hot the last couple of weeks, and hot in a good way. Like she's got some good comments.
I mean, she didn't like Schwartzy.
I don't think she still does, and that's fine. Everyone's allowed to like who they want to like. Entering another relationship while in a long-term relationship becomes cheating when you're taking steps to communicate with someone else in such a way that you would not communicate with your existing partner about. It's the lying, especially that which precipitates physical cheating, that's psychologically traumatic because it breaks the trust. Physical is the product of acting on what you believe you can get away with. Which that last sentence, I totally... I can't speak for chicks, but like, dude, like that, dudes are always like that's, once you rationalize that, like, okay, that's just how I can get away with it, and I will get away with this, whether you do or don't. Yeah. And I'm not speaking from experience. I'm speaking from having a lot of dude friends. That's when it's like, okay, it's fine. I'll do this. I can do this now.
I earmarked that comment as well. I was like, now that nails it, because we were going back and forth last episode on like what constitutes like an emotional affair. And I think that is a perfect definition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, and the breaking of the trust, like that part
yeah.
too.
Oh,
like
yes.
That's cheating or not cheating. Like that's a real doozy.
And but all of that is, I think, part and parcel with cheating, the breaking of the trust, all of it. Yeah, I thought it was excellent.
Truth for peace for freedom. First of all, thank God you got your YouTube comments glitch straightened out. It was getting murky out here. She says, in the first episode, Danny's Cheshire cat smile and maniacal laugh made me feel uncomfortable. If someone smiles too wide and frequently at me, I take it as an act of aggression.
So true.
How did we ever become friends? I bullied you into it. That's probably why I hate Jesse so much. Maybe I'm Jesse. I'm a bully.
Oh, yeah. You're so Jesse. I can't believe
it. Zoe, who we love, says, Jesse saying it was a plan to find the mole was a lie to cover up that he messed up. He, in all caps, said in a confessional that he was upset with Michelle and decided to retaliate by repeating a rumor he heard. He did say that it was something he actually heard, so it's not something he made up to find the mole. And I just happen to agree with that. I think that was the world's thinnest argument. I know I said it last week, but I was just so glad someone agreed with me.
I think two things can be true, though.
I'm the queen of that statement.
Obi is, but whatever.
Who's Obi? Oh, your friend.
Obi.
Sorry, Obi. I don't think we've met.
I never thought that that statement was true. I never thought that Jesse thought that statement was true. But I don't think. I think they were trying to see if Danny was going to spill some beans.
Okay, fine, but I don't think he was saying that to find the mole. I just don't. I think he said it because he's a fucking shady MFer. And the fact that Danny said something about it just happened to, there's our mole. Okay, this is by Mo Crazy, which I love that name. I will miss you guys. Don't Valley. Okay, so
Mo, if you're listening anyways, basically he's telling us that he's not listening right now.
Yes, because he doesn't watch The Valley.
Yeah.
Or she doesn't watch The Valley. And here's what I want to say about this. First of all, come back. Second of all, watch The Valley. It's great. And also come back. Third of all, C, 1 and B.
1 and B.
I just don't want to lose anyone, especially people that love us. Because we love you.
We do. This one.
Sorry. Last and final, send this to a friend of yours who does watch The Valley. There we go. I rest my case, Your Honor. I have no further witnesses.
This one is a good comment and then a really good idea. I don't know if this is like a thing is a real idea or what, but if it's not, it should be. Zev Rose, regardless, and this also kind of goes to something, we didn't bring it up, but it's something I thought about. Like we've talked about the kid, Isabella, and like, oh, this poor kid, and she's dealing with it. But it seems, I don't know if it's fake or not, but it seems like she is fine. Like Jesse was like, I'm thankful that like this. even through all this shit, Isabel seems to be thriving, right? And I don't think Michelle would say otherwise. They don't show her a ton, but like it seems like she's fun. Like it gets that she's a little kid, right? And
Yeah.
shit happens. Which leads me to this comment. Zevros, regardless of how any of us may or may not feel about Michelle, their daughter will see this episode one day. That's who my heart goes out to, the daughter. And I'm like, yeah, I think we all agree with that, obviously.
Yeah, I think we've all said that in some.
Definitely. I don't think she's.
But she'll
I don't
watch
think
all
she's
of
saying
this.
nah.
So like,
My question is, do you think like, listen, some kids make it. Some kids are like, whoop, yeah, fine, whatever. You guys got divorced. Don't give a shit. I'm gonna go do my thing.
Yeah.
This is just because I'm a big Dave and Buster's fan. Apparently, we have a few of these in the comments. And then it was funny that everyone hates Janet, but last week everybody was like, okay, for this episode only, Janet's fun. And
wait, we should go. I've never been to Dave and Buster's. Is it fun? Is it great? What, you just play video games?
Have you ever been to any place that's got like skee ball
Chuck E.
and
Cheese or
Fantasy
whatever.
Island,
Yeah,
Lemonade
it's
in the
just
Shade?
It's not
like
a
that,
kid.
but older.
I mean, kids can go, but it's more of an adult place.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And the food's.
Oh my God, I'm
the
Janet,
ones that
guys.
I've been to, the food's pretty good. Just bar food, like, but it's good.
Yeah.
And like, if you like those games and tickets and like go like I have a friend Jeremy, and Jeremy and I are obsessed with.
Yeah, I
Dave
like
and
stuff
Buster's.
like
We
that.
don't go all the time,
Yeah.
but when we do, we're the same. We're super competitive. We like get the plan. We get the tickets. It's always who can win more tickets. Like we don't even care about what the tickets are going to buy. So like this has to do with kind of that and like her strategy, which I was like, oh my God, I never seen. That's such a good strategy to go pick out what you want first and have a goal. Like I said, Jeremy and I, there's no goal. The goal is get more tickets than Jeremy. Like that was how we played, right?
I gotta tell you, you won't like it though because, like, first of all, you go get that stuff. It's all crap.
Yeah, it's all crap.
It's all crap. When we were kids, it was way cheaper. It's so much more expensive now. And since it's an adult place, they just know adults have more money.
Yeah.
They're getting wasted. They're blowing. You're buying $100 of tickets.
Yeah, it's expensive.
oh,
It's not a
like,
cheap.
Yeah, you're gonna go to town.
Time.
You'd have a time of your life. Just as I like refuse to like gamble more than like $200 or $300 in an entire weekend in Vegas, I will not like. I couldn't leave there. I'd rather buy a bag if I'm gonna
with you.
like
I'm
just.
with
I would
you.
like rather just go straight to Louis there and like spend money on. And I know they're not 300, but I'm just saying like that's how much 300 to me in giving away is that I'd rather spend $2,000 and get a bag. Like that would be a better idea to me.
Here's
So
a bet.
it might be
that,
the similar thing when you're
I
doing
totally-
Buster's. You're
yeah.
gonna be like, I'm just gonna fucking hand over $100 right now. I have quarters so I can maybe get this like
Yeah.
ding 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 light.
It's a
No.
definitely you're paying for the time that you had,
Yeah.
right? But a better I like Dave and Buster's too, but I'm like, no, I need some new golf shoes. I need a new wedge. Like I would much rather spend that money somewhere else. But I think a better equivalent is bowling now is so expensive. Like to go bowling for 2 hours with your friends is $200.
If
To
you
go-
drink,
I was just saying, without booze, it's like even you get like a chicken fingers and a
it's
French fry,
insane.
and you're $85 a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like Top Golf, super fun, crazy
that's very
expensive.
fun.
It's fun. I mean, I haven't been, but it's like Pat, Top Golf, no Top Golf. What are we doing here? I just
Pat was just there.
oh, she do what? But did you like is it fun? Like
She loved it.
I want to go golfing. And then if you bring your own clubs to Top Golf, then everyone makes fun of you. It's like bringing your own bag and your shirt
How
to bowling.
dare someone make fun of you at Top Golf?
I know. So
Yeah.
like
How
I
could
would
you
be
ever
that
show
guy.
your face?
Mike bought me
don't-
brand new clubs. I've used them like 5 times total.
You could resell those and get a bag.
And my bike, my $2,000 bike
That
from,
bike
from
could
the
be-
UK that took like 6 months for them to build.
Yeah,
That
you don't
bike
even
could be on your
appreciate
arm.
Nothing.
Or on your fingies.
true.
Just
Whatever.
saying.
Is this Miley or Millie love? Honestly, loved Janet during the Dave and Buster scene because Michelle pisses me off. So it made me like her just for this episode.
That reminds me of something.
And then Miss Chevy replied, Janet was the MVP this episode. I love her Dave and Buster's strategy. Her energy was everything. I love Dave and Buster's. Yeah, like I said, Miss Chevy and Nettie and I think are all one brain. But yeah, the
There's
strategy.
a lot of Dave and Buster's corporate employees in the chat
Sticking it in the
thread.
chat.
Could be. I don't know if
Yeah.
Nettie likes Dave and Buster's, but maybe she does. But the strategy was, I was like, I'd never seen nothing. I'm not like
D&B
a
strategy.
yeah, not like that before.
Yeah.
Like again, like, and maybe it's just chicks
Janet's
are more.
whole life. That's Janet. That's
Yeah.
her MO. She goes into
She
everything.
has strategized Dave and
strategize.
Buster's
Yeah,
to her
yeah.
wedding.
Yeah.
It's getting on this
like I
show.
She
said, that's
slipped into
always-
Dave's DMs.
And
Said,
Buster.
Yeah.
Bust and this.
I thought it was funny that everyone liked Janet
No, I
for
love
one
it.
episode because of Dave and Buster's.
One thing that this just reminded me, I forgot about earlier. That's one of my another annoyance with Michelle. You know how she has been saying, like, I can't believe, like, I wish that everybody like felt as bad for me or like came to bat for me, like they're coming for Britney. Jesse is just as bad as Jax, which everyone you had the eye roll from around the world. Like, okay, like Jesse's horrible. He's not Jax. Like Jax is all that Jesse is, with a whole other component of crazy, of just like lunacy, of like speaking about. Oh, guess what? Oh, this just in. I'm bipolar now. Like it's like all those things all day long. Like I just think that's a whole other level of like it's a lot. Like that's just a lot. But she then on Watch What Happens Live, someone asked her, you know, like what like the final straw was or whatever, and she said, which I just thought was the most see-through thing. She said, I asked him to make changes, namely to stop drinking, and he wouldn't stop drinking. And so then I just thought, well, it's now or never, or something like that. But basically, like, have we ever heard Michelle one time talk about Jesse having like a drinking problem?
Well, not a problem, but in the very beginning of the
Yeah.
first season, he was drinking champagne at 9 a.m, and she made a cup like
She-
she's just gonna start drinking at 9 o'clock in the morning. Like, so there was a couple like, you could have been like, oh, there's a snide comments by a grumpy wife, or you could be like, oh, maybe this dude's got a bit of a, maybe he drinks too much, or he thinks drinking is cool. Like, you know, I don't know if he had a drinking problem per se, but cracking a bottle of champagne at 9 a.m, that's
aggressive.
That's brunch.
But I don't think
That's
it
what
was
every
brunch.
girl
I
does
think
that
it
in their
was
20s. That's what they live and
But
die
he's
for.
on
45
Saturdays
on
and
a
Sundays.
dad.
Like I think, he's like on a Tuesday.
Okay.
Like, are we going to work? No, I'm gonna
All
have a
right.
bottle of champagne.
Okay. Point
Oh,
taken.
okay.
You are a Michelle fan. I get that. And I thought it was just very convenient that now drinking is like, after she said what she said about Jax, because Jax is in rehab for drug addiction amongst God knows what else, and got the reaction that she did. Everybody couldn't believe that she would try to say that these two were the same, and everyone's being so supportive to Britney and they're not really treating me that way. And it seemed like she saw this episode and was like, he's drinking in this episode. He's like, oh, Jesse brought a case of Prosecco for one weekend. Okay, there's like 10 people here. Like a case of Prosecco. I think we could finish a case of Prosecco with 3 or 4 girls in one weekend, you know? Like, I thought that it was just a convenient
get
thing.
champagne. Why are we doing Prosecco?
I don't even care.
Just get some Vouv and call it a day.
Oh, well, yeah. I don't know if clearly he can't afford Vouv, a case of Vouv. I feel like Prosecco's cheap.
That's what I'm saying. Why are we doing Prosecco?
Oh, yeah, because
If you're the fancy pants,
yeah,
let's get some Perrier Jouet.
that's true. Yeah, I just thought it was a convenient thing for her to bring up what felt like out of nowhere in an attempt to, I think, justify why she thinks she's trying to make Jesse and Jax the same guy. She's trying to convince everyone that she's in the same situation, and she's just not. Like, she's in a whole situation of her own. Don't get me wrong.
She's not, but I do think Jesse's probably that guy that, like, no, do I think you have addiction issues or any of that stuff? Probably. Again, not for me to diagnose someone, but like, doesn't seem that way. But I definitely have been around people where it's like, you take it like one step too far. I'm not saying that you need to change your entire life, but like, maybe just be aware of, like, Danny. Like, I don't necessarily think Danny has some crazy drinking problem that he needs to look at, but like, maybe just unload your stress in a healthy way, and then you can just get tipsy with everyone else. You don't have to get blottoed.
Yeah.
This company needs to sponsor us. Wow, they're good.
Yeah, no. If there's anybody out there that knows anybody at Dots and you guys say you love our show, if you really loved me, you know what to do.
Yeah, we got to get together with some big shot over at the Dots company.
Not that I don't like pretzel. I'm just not a pretzel guy. Those things are next level. Even the regular flavor.
You guys got every flavor.
Yeah. Well,
He
even now,
literally went 2 or 3 stores. He ordered from every place.
we're missing one. There's a barbecue flavor. But to be honest, I don't know if that
No,
one will
it's
be
going to be a
good.
win.
You think so?
100%.
Barbecue?
Who called grapefruit on spritz?
I would like.
Yeah, but you were wrong.
No, I was
No way, it
right.
was the best one.
No, you guys are
No,
wrong.
it was your favorite one.
Me?
Or one of you said it's going to be disgusting. Then you drank it and you said this is actually really good.
Wasn't me.
It was absolutely you.
Yes.
A grapefruit?
Yes.
100%. Roll the tape.
Roll it. If it did, I was like, oh, this is way better than I thought it was going to be. But I've never had a grapefruit thing and been like, oh, this is really good.
You liked it.
Because
Mikey
grapefruit
liked it.
tastes like dirty asshole.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna.
I think you
have
just
to
offended the
go
grapefruit community,
find
but
the
that's fine.
fucking clip.
So Rebecca Krakow says, I believe Michelle had a physical and emotional affair prior to Aaron. She admitted it in a roundabout way. An emotional affair is definitely cheating and is probably more dangerous. To me, anyway. To me, an affair is an affair. But if you feel like you're unhappy, leave the marriage first. But you can come back from it as well. It's just hard. I think she meant like leave and you can come back. Don't have an affair. Or maybe
you
she
can
meant
come
you
back
can come back from an affair.
Yeah, I think that's like I think that in the case of Jesse and Michelle, that they could have.
Well, clearly they did.
That's what I mean. Like, I mean, they ultimately didn't, but I don't think it had to do with the affair. It had to do with all the reasons as to why an affair was even had.
Yeah.
So I think that they did try to come back from it, and that's where this whole thing. I think that why everybody gets irritated at Jesse about this is because you knew it, she told you, you accepted it, you continued on, tried again, and now you're bringing it up as if this is like, what? I can't believe it. My wife had an affair on me.
Mm.
Yeah, she shouldn't have had that affair, but like the way that you're treating it is not honest. It's just like not an honest way of, all the things.
Christy, an emotional affair is an emotional affair an affair? Yes. You are breaching the trust of your spouse and you are disrespecting your spouse. It's wrong. Period. Very true. Very, very true. The important part of her statement. Hi, Minnie and Foof. Tell your mom and dad you want some ice cream. Have you ever given Minnie and Foof ice cream?
No, but they love Cool Whip.
They do like some Cool Whip.
Yeah,
Minnie.
little
Dude,
kitty.
Minnie does not eat people food. Doesn't give a shit about people food.
But she likes to be offered.
She does like to be offered and then do one of these and walk away. Foof will fight you for about anything. He doesn't like salami for some reason, but everything else. But Minnie will fuck up some Cool Whip.
Mhm.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
It's so cute.
So
Yeah.
no ice cream, but they get Cool Whip.
By the way, I would just like to clear something up because I think last episode, at least for me personally, I'm not saying an emotional affair wasn't an affair. I was just trying to say, what do we define an emotional affair as?
Mm.
And I think Maximum Dull gave a fabulous definition on what an emotional affair is.
Yeah.
And Meteor Wine said the Jesse and Michelle saga is like watching a tennis match. It totally is for me, anyways. I thought Jesse got a favorable edit in season 1 and Michelle came off as Ice Queen. Then in season 2, it appeared to be flipping toward Michelle when she snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. The vote,
She'll do that.
yeah, the vote move was what the The guy was renting the house. How do you vote him off the house? These two had some epic battles, or these two must have had some epic battles behind closed doors, which I think one of you brought up. But dude, could you imagine how gnarly they fight off camera?
Oh, nuts, so.
Um,
I feel like the way Natalie feels about Kyle from Summer House, she will just never be Team Kyle. I feel like that's me with
no,
Jesse.
she said she's growing on him.
Well, yeah, you've softened to Kyle.
Kyle's her favorite now.
Kyle's just letting
West and then Kyle.
Kyle's just letting life happen to other people before he would just have to get involved all the time. And I think he finally tuckered out. Maybe just for this season. I don't know. But he's just not, for this last half of the season, he's just like not getting involved. Well, that's a lie too, because he had the pipe down line last time. Listen, it's only a matter of time. That's why I'm not saying I like Kyle because right now, Kyle, but like he's gonna do something to make me go, Natalie, you stupid bitch. Why did you say that out loud? You hate Kyle. Kyle's the worst. He's always been the worst, and he will continue to be. So I'm allowing room for that. But also, Amanda did say at FanFest or Bravo, whatever they had this last year, she said this was our best season yet.
Oh, I love
Like
that.
as a like I don't know if it was like a couple, or like just speaking about her and Kyle's experience on the like. I think she meant as a couple, but I just don't want to put words in her mouth.
Well,
that's what I got from it.
Yeah.
And I think it has been after the dinner table takedown, the Spritz Wars are back on. It seems like he got it all out and it's just sort of been like, okay,
I earned my paycheck.
where's my swim trunks? Where are my swimmies?
Trisha S. Vader agrees. I think you read Zoe's comment about the mole. I noticed that you did not read Trisha's reply.
Sorry, Trish.
I agree with Mike on this one. They were specifically trying to find out it was Danny.
He just does a search for, I agree with Mike.
I mean, it's just a laundry list. It's so long. My phone almost has to shut down. It's getting hot. Just my opinion. It's not just your opinion, Trisha. Mine too. So suck it, ladies. Okay.
I'll suck nothing,
No.
and you'll like it.
I won't like it.
I like these nuts.
Whoa.
Yeah.
If someone's listening to this on Spotify, that was a very weird segue.
I don't think you can say that
Yeah.
after.
Walnuts.
I could eat a whole.
Not Mike's nuts.
I think we order half a pound every time we get it, and I could eat the whole half.
Delicioso.
Oh shit!
Dude.
So I ate a half a pound, is what you're saying.
mean-
Great.
Delicioso.
Any nuts that are caramelized,
It's a friend of mine.
yeah, there's no end to it. It's like dessert. Like, I'm so full, I'm gonna barf. Do you have cheesecake though? Like,
Yeah, I could do a
yeah, I
cheesecake.
could do cheesecake.
Anybody want to split it? Nobody? Okay, we're still going to get the cheesecake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone will eat it.
Carly T, both you ladies are gorgeous. Mike is a lucky guy to sit between you two. It's true.
It took Carly
I
T.
love you.
It took Carlite to tell you.
I mean, I don't need someone to tell me. I knew that.
Okay.
I was just saying there's another one that somebody agreeing with me that I'm lucky to sit between you guys.
Oh, that's very nice, Mark.
I won't read these, but I just, because it's like, it's going to sound like I'm reneging on my apology tour, and I'm totally not. I just want to give a shout out to Trey9589 and Katie Walling and Lee Armstrong for giving me some like, no, we got what you meant. And, that was lovely. And I appreciate that.
I read those. I thought they were super sweet, thoughtful comments.
Lovely. I feel like there was one other, maybe it was Rebecca Krakow, or maybe it was Trisha Vader, or maybe it was Cubby. Can't remember. But it's just nice to know, like, I was sloppy, but some people understood what, like, the sentiment.
intention.
And I just, like, those are the things that do keep me up, is thinking, like, they really think that I meant something like that. So, like, it is just nice to know that, again, it's not a justification. I fucked up, but, Meteor too. Meteor is so lovely. Nettie, birds of a feather flock together. Kristen is messy and so is Jesse. And then I can't remember who it was, but underneath it they were like, you rhymed.
Nettie's so good. Her comments are just like layups. Now she's got to make it harder for herself. Next time it's going to be like an iambic pentameter.
They probably are. We just don't know it.
Yeah, we're just too dumb to figure it out.
Little Red, we finally know your real name. Literal Red is Little Red and shall be addressed as such going forward.
Henceforth shall be known as.
Yes, that.
Little Red.
Yes.
2 75-pound dogs.
Yeah, lap dogs.
Those are biggies.
Mr. Sugar Shay, I just recently stumbled across you guys and I'm enjoying the dynamic. Y'all really need to change your channel name. I keep trying to recommend you to Bravo peeps and I never remember what D something studio it is. Hard to find you on the tube. We're in discussions. We don't know what to do. This was Mike's. This was a name that Mike has been using on everything forever. So when we first started the channel, it made perfect sense because, as we mentioned earlier, Nautify is an acronym for No One Will Do It For You. And that's why we started a YouTube channel, so that, because we were saying we're not relying on anyone to do anything, we're going to do it for ourselves. Made a lot of sense. Now, when people are like, what's your channel called? It really is like, it's like the questions that nobody wants to answer. Like, Well, the fact that I even have to go, well, means it shouldn't be the channel name, but here we are. And I don't know. Listen, because we very well may change it. I don't know. But I just want to say for the record now, if you go in one day to type it and it's not there anymore, go to Showmance. Like what? Like it will be
it will
one or
only
the
be
other.
changed to Showmance.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like we won't get into it now, but this channel was supposed to be a bunch of shows, a bunch of different shows in different formats. And like we said, we got tired of waiting for other people. So we were like, oh, let's spend too much money on gear and we'll make our own stuff. And that things change along the way.
Yeah.
So now channels are probably going to be more singular focused. This will be the Showmance channel. Nowtify
If it is.
Yeah,
when it is, if it is.
totally. Yeah, I'm not
right
making
now.
some proclamation.
Yeah.
But if this channel name does change, it will change to Showmance, and that will be this channel.
We should have already done it is the problem. And now we've got almost 2,000 of you. And we're like, what happened?
Wait a minute. If you change the handle, does everyone go bye-bye?
I don't think
No.
so, but a lot of people, like in
It
our
doesn't
analytics,
matter.
we also look and see like what people are searching for when they find us. And a big chunk of them are they're not necessarily subscribers. They're going on and punching in because they'll remember Nowtify, they'll put it in. So that's how they're getting to our channel. And so I'm always like, what if they just go, guess they died and they move on with their lives? Another reason to just subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And listen, I'm not a huge subscriber either. TikTok and YouTube make it easy to not subscribe to things because they will continue to put things into your feed.
Yeah.
Actually, on TikTok, if you subscribe to them, you're no longer on my For You page. I have to go to a whole other tab of following. So a lot of times I don't do it because TikTok algorithm is so good that they know exactly when I need to see this gay uncle character that I always watch. And they slip it in at the perfect moments. And I can't give that up. And I literally had to tell gay uncle the other day, I love you so much. I dream of you. I can't follow you because the way that it's delivered to me is so good.
That's crazy.
I know. Carrie G says, I love listening to the podcast while knocking off chores from my never-ending list. Chores, who needs them? Anyway, I multitask like a boss. And I've said this before, but I will always continue to say it, that podcasts are like, I don't want to say podcasts saved my life, but also they kind of did. They give me a life. Like when you're home and you work from home and you're doing chores and you're doing all your crap. Like I have not had somebody talking in my ear for about a decade now. I really thought about it and looked back and was like, when did I start listening to that? I think it might be close to 10 years now that I've been relying on free content that is just streaming. I don't know how these people did it for as long as they did. I guess I do.
Now you do.
Yeah, now I do. But I'm still like, that will always be like one of my like most favorite things about this is like knowing that we're providing a service that I use. That was like, for me, it was a invaluable service.
Oh, no,
to the
same.
day. It still is.
When I'm standing at my engraving machine engraving 2,000
Yes.
pieces of Palo Santo and I can have something in my ears that's engaging, that's interesting,
Yeah.
I'm learning something, whatever, I'm so grateful because I live for television, but sometimes my machines are very loud, so it's hard to like track all of
Yeah.
it. And like if you're vacuuming, you're all over. It's just, I'm with you. I'm super grateful for it.
Yes.
So I'm glad we can now
yeah, it's like the
what's
most
karmically
exciting thing people
pay
tell
it
me.
forward and do it
Yes,
for other
I
people,
think
yeah.
so too.
Okay, wait. I have one cute side
Okay.
comment. Okay, it says it's from Pink Jeepin. Mike/Mark looks just like Ted Allen, the host of Chopped on the Food Network. He's literally that guy's twin. I just watched.
I would need to go back and make a list. My favorite one still is when they called you Whitney. That's still my favorite one. That you look like Whitney.
No, I remember the comment. I'm agitated that that's your favorite one. That's agitated.
Above and
face.
beyond favorite one. I
Mm.
mean, there's others that are more accurate.
This one is super accurate.
But-
Pink Jeepin. I totally agree. I can't believe I never saw this before. You guys could be brothers. Okay. And then the second part is I just watched a podcast. I think it's called Bitch Bible. I might be wrong. With Kristen Doute. And she admitted to having a weave in right now. She fooled us all. LOL. I had no idea she got me. And now I'm rethinking all of these ladies' mains.
Interesting.
What's the matter?
Maybe I have one more I could read.
Please.
Because
Is it about the weaves?
it's about all
It's about
weaves.
something.
Okay.
You know.
I don't know.
Oh God, I feel like this is going to be terrible. Oh God, did I say something wrong?
Oh, no, God. Katie Walling says, first of all, Nat and Mike, I love how secure you both are in your relationship to be able to put those hypotheticals out in the universe. Courtney, you look adorbs and your hair is long and beautiful. Natalie, you have Disney princess hair. No extensions or fake hair needed for either of you. I've had 5 hours today with you guys, and it's made my rainy day. Keep up the great work. Love y'all.
I love you.
I just feel like if you spent 5 hours with us today and you think we do great work and you gave us the L word.
And we've talked so much about honesty and trust building on this show, on this episode tonight. Did you want to tell her something?
I could tell you or I could show you.
Oh goodness, you're so brave.
Listen, it's just one
So brave.
track, okay? I got a big haircut. This is new. I have not been wearing weaves this whole time, but I had a lot of dead ends, and so I told my stylist to go for the gold, and it takes a minute. So I basically just been wearing 1 or 2 tracks for like 3 shows now. I just wanted to tell you. In the vein of honesty.
I don't have a track in, but I have to shave my face. So you never,
Okay.
you never had
Like
no
and
such thing as a free lunch.
subscribe?
It's like
I don't even shave.
that was like the perfect thing. It's like an Almost Famous, and I'm gay.
Yes. It's the dermablading.
I thought that's what he was gonna do.
No, I was gonna be like, and
These are fake glasses.
I was gonna like put my
They're not fake glasses. He can't see.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
that's
can't see
it though.
for
Everything.
shit.
I mean, not that there's much. Not that you
By
were
the way,
wondering now.
I
You're like,
could
well,
grow
yeah.
out my lip hair, dye it blonde, and give it to you, and you could have a free weave.
Please do, because these are expensive.
Yeah.
I
I
have
always
like
say
8
this-
of them.
The stuff that grows out of my chin, people pray for on their head. Anyway, I'm open about my hair laser journey.
I know.
Anyway,
I
like
appreciate that about
and
you.
subscribe if we haven't lost you.
Yeah, no. If you're still here,
Speaking of still here, where's my kitten? B. Oh wait, watch this. She's trained. She's
Minnie's
gonna
gonna be like,
Yeah, she's gonna bust through the wall. There's gonna be a little mini
yeah.
through the wall. B. Watch this.
I'm just giving the heads up now that on our summer house this weekend we are sticking to 90 minutes maximum because it's Mother's Day and I have to get up at 6 a.m. on Sunday morning and drive out of here. So I do not have any time. I will have 1 day to turn it around, and I just am
I will
saying.
button it up.
We were gonna do that today too, and the clock reads 3:29:26.
Yeah,
But I
but
gotta stop it.
half of that was just you mumbling about that'll all be chim.
We did it, Joe. Where's my cat?
I don't know. Okay,
Bee,
love you. See you for summer
love
house.
you.
Ciao, ciao.
There she is. She heard the treats. See, she's trained. She could be a circus cat. B. That's terrible, though. Don't put your animals in circuses.